Tried to fall in love a few times, but that didn't work. Yeah. They never stuck around to see my work. My mama B knew I was special since birth. Yeah. You say you love me, but you know love gets you hurt. Yeah. I can't let you bitches play with my heart. This ain't funny like Kevin. You'll have better luck in a casino betting. Girl, don't say that shit, you lying. I got trust issues, ain't no need in trying. I fell out with the plug because it's timing. Don't try to love me now, girl, stop all that crying. You trying to show me that because I'm leaving. Yeah. Don't try to cause a scene now, bitch, we even. For real. Fuck, I should've listened and took my daddy's advice. Now I got 3 baby mamas and none of them had a relationship right. Hella shit going left, so I know that it gotta get right. Cause at the rate that I'm going, I'm never gonna give me a wife. But until then, I'm living my life. I find one of you anywhere that I go, or I get a similar type. Cause my life is a gamble like rolling the dice. I'm trying to go off the scene and leave her text on red. She's stressing to talk about it, but there ain't nothing to be said. I got 100 missed calls. I think about posting her thread. Stop telling people that you love me and you didn't pledge. Don't take the comments and likes to the head. Ever since I was a kid, bitch, I've been big in the head. You ain't comprehend what I said. Bitch, I live my life on the edge. Yeah, I'm tryna do it like I never done it. And I am not close to my summit. You don't love me like you say you love me. Cause you want me to plummet. If you can't cook it like I cook it, then I don't want it. I don't want this shit. Been keeping 100. My name ain't Watch. Is my name Audemars, bitch? I don't got time for this. Hey, my love ain't unconditional. It's conditional, baby. I love unconditional. Don't let it get to you, baby. I'm sorry I led you on. It wasn't intentional, baby. I'm stubborn. I don't even call when I miss you, baby. It never be what you gon' do for me. It always be what I'm gon' do for you. I got some character flaws too, so tell me what I should do with you. And what kind of level are we on? Like a U-Haul, are we moving on? Cause I promise I won't be long-winded if you seek enclosure. I'll be okay if you say it's over. And I'll find another one if we don't work. Yeah. Yeah. Show me that you love me, please don't tell me yeah. Yeah. Love it just for letters, you gotta show me yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Buck City Kennels Live, and we are back with another exclusive. Go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button for more videos. We do this not every day, but almost every day. It's going to be some triggering topics. It's going to be a lot of shit. And don't forget about the dog content on this channel. If you own an animal, anything, we talk about husbandry, everything, laws. We talk about it all. We even ring the bell, let motherfuckers come up and argue, do their thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a very triggering channel, you dig? Salute everybody in the building. I see Jesse Adams in the building so far. More Lionhead in the building. Salute my brothers in the building. Yeah, it's a wake and bake. It's a motherfucking wake and bake day. Great day. And we getting it in, man. I got this video from the La Peep Network again. I chopped up this joint. It was some topics, man. They were talking about drug culture, reparations, a lot of things. The women, they of course, when you get a woman on a panel, it's always going to be some extra emotions and whatnot. You'll be able to hear Dr. Hood react to some of that bloodthirst in the building. Salute my brother for pulling up. I got one rolled already. we smoking on some gumbo. We smoking on gumbo today. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get into it.
Without a transgender popping up. That's not by, so we just feel like doing that. No,
what does that have to do
all
with what I just said?
It has everything to do with it because that's what they said. We're going to make sure that every Black person believes that they can only be a rapper or a ball player. That's why the girls always going for the drug dealers, because that's what they've been promoted on TV ever since they were a child. And now all of a sudden, when they're grown women and they're going after that and they become baby mamas to these men, y'all trying to figure out where did it come from. It came from the TV that they were watching.
Oh my goodness. Don't see, we can't start off on this foot. We cannot blame TV for everything. Now, we can blame TV for a significant amount of the programming and, you know, whatever, but come on, to this extent, come on, you know. And then the same people that say this shit, they be influenced by the shit more than everybody else. Like, you know, make it make sense.
It came from the music that they're listening to. It didn't come out of this.
Ruth, I will argue that though. Look, I would argue that though, because I feel like that's not necessarily, it's not, I don't think that's pushed from TV.
Right.
I think that's pushed on what honestly women want. Right. So we know women, listen, hold on, hear me out. Let me cook.
If they had
hold on, let me cook. Let me cook. Hold on. Let me cook. No, let me cook. Let me explain what I'm getting at.
Still hurt me.
Let me explain what I'm getting at. The thing with the
damn, she said they still hurt her. She's toxic. I'm gonna go ahead and put my ballot in. She's running on a little toxic time right now. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to get that out, interrupt the man, but she wanted to make sure she got her little statement out, man. Salute, man.
Drug dealer issue is that women obviously like to be taken care of. At that age, right? In the community, the only person that has the ability to buy you all these nice things and what have you is at that age a drug dealer, somebody that can buy you the nice things. Hypergamy is a real thing, right? So if you can pay for this, that, and the other, that is something that is going to seem attractive at the time at a young age, right? You're not looking at the morality of it. You're just looking at what can be done for you. So that's what pushes that whole drug dealer mentality, the Prince Charming, so to speak. He can pay my bills. He can do this. He can buy me that. Not many can do that, right? And that's where that comes from. I don't think that's
drug dealers only make $40,000 a year, but doctors make so.
Oh wow, drug dealers make $40,000 a year. Damn, what kind of drugs is he selling? Hey, I know if I'm gonna get back in the game, I'm gonna need more than $40,000 a year. You know, shit. I'm gonna at least need 3 times that. You know, if you're a drug dealer, I mean, you should at least be making. I mean, I don't know, man. Everybody's different, bro. I'm not gonna try to push no expectations on nobody, but this woman's nuts to just think a drug dealer makes 40,000. Although, you know, you might got to average it in with the guys that don't make shit and then average it with the guys that, you know, and it might average to that. I don't know. This is weird though.
So much more. So if we had
how many doctors do you know though? How many doctors do you know in the hood when you 17, 18, 19 years old? You might know the drug. Listen, and then you saying $40,000 a year. I don't know those. I'm talking about drug dealers that were making $10,000 a week on their block. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying a actual drug dealer. Those are the ones that have the flashy car at 26 years old that the girls are gonna be looking at. That's what's pushing that stuff,
Law. How they learn
I got another clip I'm gonna play.
Yeah,
play this clip.
Job is it to say wrong subculture, folks? You're harming yourselves.
Well, I would think in an ideal world that intellectuals might take on that task, but the world that we live in, I've noticed, is not ideal.
All right. What is to be done? Take a look at President Lyndon Johnson speaking at Howard University in 1965.
Oh, yes.
This one was a good clip, man. You got to let this shit resonate. You know, this will give you a little, you know, when I talk about reparations, you know, and people gloss over it and make it seem like, you know, a motherfucker's begging for a handout and shit. You know, I think it's kind of fucked up how other cultures get you know, they get theirs. You know, it's all of a sudden they, you know, we don't get ours. Nobody wants to, you know, to take that head on. You know, I just think it's fucked up. That's just my opinion. You guys could leave the comments and, you know, let me know how you guys feel about reparations.
But freedom is not enough. You do not wipe away the scars of centuries by saying now, you are free to go where you want and do as you desire and choose the leaders you please. You do not take a person who for years has been hobbled by chains and liberate him, bringing up to the starting line of a race, and then say, you are free to compete with all the others, and still justly believe that you have been completely fair.
It's pathetic. It's not a question of, there's no you who has the control to be completely fair.
Man, look, that was huge. You know, that statement right there was huge. I mean, you just don't free a man and just tell him that he's free to do whatever he wants to do after, he says century. You know, that's a century is 100 years. In case some of y'all, you know, in case there's a little kid walks in, you know, century. So you put an S on the end of it. You know what I'm saying? You just can't have people in bondage and just say they're free. You know, there needs to be things in place to help those type of communities. So when I say that the Black community is ravished, you know, by systemic issues, you know, I don't want to hear no pushback, bro. And if you do, a lot from other cultures, they're just turning a blind eye. You know, this is not about racism. This is not about, you know, this is about turning the blind eye to something that's so fucking obvious, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not gonna sit here and argue and cry over the shit, but the man said it best, man. I'm gonna throw him back on there.
But the world that we live in, I've noticed, is not ideal.
All right. What is to be done? Take a look at President Lyndon Johnson speaking at Howard University in 1965.
Oh, yes.
But freedom is not enough. You do not wipe away the scars of centuries by saying now, you are free to go where you want and do as you desire and choose the leaders you please. You do not take a person who for years has been hobbled by chains and liberate him, bringing up to the starting line of a race, and then say, you are free to compete with all the others, and still justly believe that you have been completely fair.
It's pathetic. It's not a question of, there's no you who has the control to be completely fair or completely unfair. I mean, the circumstances are, so someone once criticized the mental tests on grounds that the tests were unfair.
Yeah, get that coffee, man. It's about to get deep in here. They're gonna let the panel back in. Yeah, it's about to get real touchy, man. Real touchy up in here, man.
And I think it was David Reisman who said, the tests are not unfair. Life is unfair, and the tests are measuring the results. But who has control of life? Who has control of the past? Who has control of the culture that people have in the present, which they've inherited from the past?
He is such
What's
a
buddy name again?
Thomas Sowell, his cool name. Where he
Soul,
just
right? S-O-W-E.
so that man, Lyndon B. Johnson, clearly said, yes, we can change you up and brought you to a race, and then told you to run after you've been enchained all of this time. And it's unrealistic to believe that you could have a just life. And this coon ass nigga gonna say, man, that shit on them. Get your goofy ass out of here. That's why fucking reparations is. Look,
It gets touchy.
What I wanna say is, first of all, before I make the statement, I want to apologize to JR for the past 3 clips you played. I don't think this panel is ready to communicate on a level to where we can kind of like be genuine about the clips you're making, because instead of actually listening to his point and trying to understand it, we attack his character and all this other stuff. we gotta just try to, just because we disagree with somebody don't mean we can't try to understand a position or point they make, or even appreciate that they took time out of their life to do some research and kind of look at the research they did and how they were able to substantiate their facts to try to get an understanding. Until we can kind of do that, these type of conversations are going to be very shallow. But I will say that Lyndon B. Johnson, that speech is the speech that pretty much crippled Black people, that made them content.
Get the fuck out of here.
with-
God.
Okay, if I can
Hey,
finish
yo,
my
I
point.
swear to
I disagree, man. I disagree. That's when this gets touchy. This, because a lot of dudes, and I don't know motherfuckers personally, but a lot of dudes, they get up on this YouTube shit, just like in my video earlier. Motherfuckers will say any goddamn thing to be cool. Like, that's not the stance that your people are taking, bro. So when a motherfucker get up in here on some bullshit, just saying anything, it could get real heated fast.
God, Darwin, bro, you
If
be
I
really
can-
doing some
if I can
you be
finish
really
my-
saying some disingenuous
if you
shit,
wait
Joe.
long
Like,
enough,
real
you'll be able
talk,
to
bro.
understand.
Look, man,
You'll-
look, like
If you
sometimes
wait
real
long
deal
enough,
be like,
you'll be able to understand.
you real
Go
deal
ahead, and
come
be
to a
rude
point
and
of
interrupt,
any
brother.
chance
Go
that you
ahead.
Let
get,
him
you
finish.
try and make us seem like, bro, you gotta chill with that. That some of that borderline simping you be doing on here is really getting to me. I'm like, though, you gotta chill with
So now
that.
that's
If we didn't agree with
simping
Buddy,
is
if we didn't agree with Buddy,
That's
we
simping?
didn't agree with
Fair
him. You know what I'm
use.
saying?
When did we
Get real.
Everything
change the
is
term simping? The meaning of the term simping?
Hey, look, bro. I'm
You
talking
shooting
about
yourself
from
in the foot.
the multiple times. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I aim very
Damn,
well when I
sure.
shoot. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, bro, you got to stop with all this trying to, ladies, the gentlemen on the panel are saying this, man. Stop with that, bro. You really be making yourself look crazy to me. I'm saying right now, if we didn't agree with the brother, I felt like he was shucking and jiving for the dude that was interviewing him. I listened to, I'm ready for the intellectual conversation because I actually watched the video earlier and already made up my mind on what it was. So to come on here and disingenuous say what we're not ready for is
He made a stance. It's not an argument if you say some cool shit and another Black man gets offended. That's not an argument. Sometimes you gotta step back and watch what you're saying, man. Your stances on this shit, man. Slavery was the wrong deal, man. If you're Black, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about this shit. We can go all the way around the rosy, the way shit is. The war on drugs was some bullshit, dog. Go study it. That's all I'm telling you. Go study it for yourself so you can see the type of bullshit that got swept up under the rug, that can ravish a community, bro. Yeah, it doesn't make an excuse for us to go out here and kill each other and do, all of this miscellaneous shit. I'm not excusing none of that. It doesn't excuse any of the behaviors and everything. But if it's a gap, it's gonna be an issue. I don't understand. You just can't make me do a job and give me kibbles and then expect me to be happy and not say anything. Like, I'm not supposed to say anything. You're a man just like everybody else. You can't say anything about this situation. Now that's wrong.
crazy for me.
What is it that you heard that made you make your mind up? Exactly. All right, shut the hell up. So now look.
All right. So now that's when we getting out of
Let
hand.
go.
Whatever state you in, stay there.
Okay, so
We
you
don't
want
do
to
that.
run threats. You could
Whatever
call me a
state
simp,
you in,
but I'm
stay
just
there, 'cause
sitting
we
here
don't do that
telling
over
you
here.
to shut up, and you can call me out my name.
Whatever state you in, stay there, because we don't do that over here.
I'm gonna finish my point. The speech that Lyndon B. Johnson just spoke was the speech that's pretty much
I swear
purple
y'all
black.
make me question. Y'all make me question where y'all from, bro. I swear to God, I'll be questioning.
I be questioning where dudes be from too, bro.
Where y'all from?
Finish. Why are you being so
I
rude
swear to
tonight.
God, I
Is this how the
swear to
women be
God,
acting?
y'all make
If
me
I ever
question
act
where
like
y'all
this,
from
All right, y'all.
all the time.
We got to be able to have a conversation, y'all. Let's
y'all
just
being
have a
so rude
conversation.
tonight.
Just
It's
because y'all,
because
just
I'm
because
tired of
y'all
people
don't agree, don't mean that
apologizing.
we
My
can't.
people, when it comes to our culture, all of a sudden y'all want to throw our culture under the bus. He just sat here and said that was
Fair
the
use,
thing
fair use.
that tore black, that held black folks back. That was the nail in the
But you
coffin for
don't.
black
But
folks. Not
you
the
don't
many things that
understand.
transpired before that. Come on, bro. I
See,
swear to God, y'all
see
make me question
what you're
where y'all
doing.
from
What you're
every
doing is
time.
what y'all are doing is y'all have an issue with listening. Y'all struggle with listening. Y'all don't even listen long enough to understand what I'm saying. Y'all are playing double dutch.
I'll be emotional. I
Just
will
trying
be
to
emotional.
wait
When
to
it comes to
jump
this, I'm
in.
very emotional.
I
This is
haven't even. I
bullshit.
had.
I'm not talking about you.
I began to repeat myself, and I haven't even got past the last word I said the first time, and you coming with the same thing. That confirms that you don't even won't
I
even
don't want to have a
listen to the
conversation. I don't want to
context.
have a conversation about somebody that's gonna sit here and listen to a coon ass dude throw black people under the bus and say black people or black culture is no culture and that we're promoting all this violence and everything else and black people ain't no good.
We ain't picked the
On
video.
the national stage, you're gonna be in this interview talking this mad cash shit about us. I'm good on that.
So look.
I'm good,
So let me give you.
And he
largely
married to a
ignore,
white woman, by the way.
especially when you largely ignore everything that black folks have been through in this country. You largely ignore all that shit, and then just gonna throw black folks under the bus. I don't fuck with people like that.
I did not throw black people under
I'm
the
not
bus.
talking about you, bro.
He's talking about the dude in the video.
Can y'all let me finish my point though? Because I feel like y'all
Dude is a
y'all so
fucking
triggered.
clown.
Y'all so triggered. Y'all don't even y'all triggers don't even allow
Very
y'all to be
triggered.
receptive.
Very triggered. Very triggered.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I was saying was that speech that Lyndon B. Johnson spoke is the speech that pretty much crippled the black communities in America. And I'm gonna tell you,
black community.
the
speech,
black people.
the speech crippled black America.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what.
Let him make his point.
I'm gonna tell you what this speech did. I'm gonna tell you what this speech did. What he pretty much did was he promoted and he marketed the Great Society Act and welfare and all these other government assistance things that pretty much keep black people content and destabilized in one position and never grow out of it. This was a marketing strategy. And what he did was what he showed to black people that, hey, this is reparations. He made black people believe that this was reparations. He didn't even look at the 19 before integration, segregation. We was hitting on all strides. When we were segregated, we were doing well financially. We were doing well with education. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. We had everything. Yes, we were. We had everything we needed when we were segregated. We never had
look at the numbers.
our marriages.
Y'all don't look at the numbers.
Listen, our marriages were booming when we were segregated. We never had any families were empowered. Everything. When the Great Society Act, when this speech came in, when feminism came in, it incentivized being poor. It incentivized being single mothers. And what did that do? That de-incentivized being married. So you got to look at the context. Y'all are focused on the content and y'all getting triggered by the content and what I'm saying and not the context of what I'm saying. You got to understand the strategy behind what this man was saying back in, I think, 1950s or 1960s when they ushered in the Great Society Act.
Segregation.
It led to, you know what else it led to? It led to putting people, not just black people, but damn near all people who go to college in a financial deficit, in a financial catastrophe with the student loans and all this stuff. You got to be able to see this shit happening. I'm gonna let somebody else talk.
But Darwin, that's the same guy that he said that I'm going to give them so many entitlements that they're going to be voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and that's exactly what happened.
And I'm going to give you so much aid, so much assistance, so much free stuff that you'll never ever get out of your position, never. And I'm gonna make you think that it's reparations. Do you know that when we were segregated, black people didn't even want free stuff.
That's
We
why
wanted
none
to
of
work
y'all,
for our shit.
neither one of y'all was
We
talking
wanted
about
to work. We
reparations
were
on
proud of
this panel
our
ever.
companies. We were proud of our families, our businesses. We were proud of that. We didn't want nobody to hand us nothing. We had our own bus lines. We had our own businesses, our own barbershops, our own restaurants, our own schools, our own education programs.
Preach, preacher.
All of that shit is gone.
Do you know why?
Preach.
Do you know why they was pushing for integration? Do you know why they was pushing for integration? They were saying, like, because when they said that we were separate but equal, there was no equal. That's the whole reason why they push for integration. It's so that we can have the same access to the same textbooks, to the same schools. That was the whole reason why there was a push for integration. You talking about we was way better off during segregation is simply false.
Somewhere.
Just because there was,
You're both right. It could
So-
have been a minority was doing well and the majority was still failing. That could be true. Two things can be true at the same time.
So Bruce, you even mentioned you mentioned the word segregation quite a few times right now, and you said even our marriage rates failed. Are you trying to imply that that's
said I said we were excelling as families in marriage when we were segregated.
Point.
So how would you? So do you think it only affected Black people? So how would you say that? How would you explain the decline in other races as well, particularly white?
Me never
in that same time period.
The same resources.
Well, what I would say the decline. I would say, and I'm not gonna this part. I haven't done the research on that to try to push facts on it. But what I think happened is when we got integrated, we started to build wealth, communities and stuff, and take on traditions and cultures from other races. We kind of went away from our own.
Fair use.
When we used to buy ice from the Black person or the Black merchant on the corner store, we was happy with that. But for some reason, we thought we were told that wasn't good, or we thought that wasn't good. We wanted to go buy the ice from the white man when ice is the same damn shit. Is nobody's ice is different. You know what I'm saying? But we wanted it from the white man. We wanted to sit in the front of the bus.
The white man's ice is colder.
His ice is colder.
What are y'all talking about,
No,
man?
these are things that actually happen. These are stories that I've read about and I heard about. And these are things that I wasn't here in this time, but I can tell you that there's times in history where Black people excelled when we were in unison, when we had a mutual interest. We've always
so Bruce, the question that wasn't really the question. The question was, how do you explain the decline of marriages within the white races, and how do you explain the increase of drug use for them too? Because they are also having issues. It's not just us. So I think that blaming segregation might be a stretch, because even if you look at the drug rate, the Census Bureau reports that it's 8% of whites, about 9% of Hispanics, 6% of Blacks that are using drugs. So what I'm asking is, how do you explain the decline of the entire nation when we're talking about segregation?
Okay, so I didn't associate segregation with the decline of relationships in marriage. I said that we were better off as a Black people. Now, when you bring in other races and you want to talk about the decline of marriage and relationships and all this stuff, I would argue that the anti-man movements, they call it feminism, the ushering in social media and online dating and pornography has crippled the connection and pretty much desensitized the connection we can have amongst each other. Women have replaced men with social media validation, comments, likes. A man can't even compete. A woman can post a half-naked picture and get a drastic amount of likes and validation, and it'll replace a man. A man can't post a nude or whatever and get that same type of validation. There's no way that he can compete with that. And then
I don't disagree with any of that, though, Darwin. I don't disagree with any of those factors that you mentioned now, but you mentioned the word segregation like 4 times. So I was hoping you could tell me how it correlates to segregation
in the context of Black people excelling.
Black people weren't excelling. They weren't. All you do is look at the wealth data over those times. They weren't.
So
we were a bottom class then. We were a bottom caste then. We're a bottom caste now.
When we were
wealth largely did not move in the Black community for the last 100-some years.
So let me tell you what integration kind of did to relationships, and you could say marriage or whatever, I would argue that some of the assistance and some of the aid that was given to Black people and their families came at a cost. And it sometimes meant that the Black man had to be removed from the household. And if you do that over and over in a repetitive manner over a course of time, that can single-handedly cause a drop in marriage and nuclear families.
Bro, you still trying to blame that on integration? That had nothing to do with integration.
Okay, so if you could say that it had nothing to do with integration, can you give me some context or correct me? I'm willing to listen, and I'm not going to call you a simp. I'm not going to misjudge. I'm not going to mischaracter. I'm just going to try to understand you. And maybe I could
Darwin,
be wrong.
you already answered it. You already answered it. Every other factor that you mentioned when I asked you about segregation was correct. You've already answered it.
Let me slide this other clip in there real quick.
So Lyndon Johnson, in fact, although good liberal that he was, at least in regard, Lyndon Johnson had a complicated career and changed positions on issues many times. But good liberal though he was at that moment, he was in fact engaging in a breathtaking arrogance.
Yes.
On two counts. One, that white people were the ones who were responsible for where Black people stood in the race, that it was up to whites entirely. That Blacks, as he described, I put
devastating.
it Black people are passive, they're acted upon.
That's right, that's right.
And then the second act of arrogance is the supposition that somehow the federal government could fix it.
Yes, it is staggering. But if you wanted to be charitable, you could say, well, he said this in 1965. But if you say, all right, why are people now repeating it in 2013 when we've had nearly half a century of experience to the contrary? And if you look within the Black community, those Blacks who had escaped what I call the Black redneck culture, they've moved on. So, but it's the culture the different parts of the Black community had. They were different.
Bruce,
What did y'all hear?
Bruce, if you look at the wealth data, you would know that Black wealth largely has not changed over the last 100 years. We are not doing better. In fact, the generation that did actually do the best was the boomer generation. When they had access to home ownership through what program was that? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Where they were actually. You said what?
For $1, and we weren't able to buy it.
No. When black boomers were got access to home to buying homes and things like
redlining?
That. Not redlining. That prevented it.
Mm-hmm. Well, redlining meaning that you couldn't buy in certain areas, so they would pigeonhole you into purchasing in certain areas where the property value wasn't as high. You didn't have the opportunity to buy the land the way they did. You also had white folks had the opportunity to buy land for $1, basically giving it to them. And now that's what's creating this wealth because that land that they got for $1 years ago is now worth $400,000 and $500,000, $600,000, $1 million, and what have you, that we didn't have access to.
Well, look, what I'll say to you, what I'll say in response to that is, I've read that when we were in unison, when Black people were working together and they were segregated, there were times on a timeline where Black people had created a large amount of wealth. I think they called it Black Wall Street or something like. We were on the uprise.
Fair Housing Act, my bad.
That is correct.
Fair Housing Act.
Graph.
You're right.
There was many occasions where the graph was going up, and there was an attack on that caused it to collapse. It was intentional. But then whenever we got integrated and we got introduced to the assistance that was pushed and promoted by Lyndon B. Johnson, nothing happened. We were plateaued. The line never increased. And you just made the point. The Black wealth has been the same for 100 years. So what did he market? Didn't he fail? If he can go back, if Lyndon B. Johnson can speak today, he would probably say the reason for that speech is because I anticipated if we give them these assistance, if we give them a crutch, if we give them safety nets, they can catch up with us.
Well, you have
But
to.
he was fucking wrong.
Well, no,
and you just made the point.
No, I did not.
And that video was 2013.
Speech,
if I'm correct, am I correct? He said 20. Why is this happening in 2013? That was 10, 11 years ago.
But bro, you know what? One thing that we got to remember too, when we started talking about Black Wall Street, you got to remember that was a very small pocket, very small. It was only 10,000 people. You know what I'm saying? That lived in that area that were prospering.
Black folks know they weren't.
Black Wall Street was
Black folks was
10,000
largely wealthless.
There were
you know what I'm saying?
cities.
Black folks were largely wealthless.
No, that was in Oklahoma. Listen, Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street was solely in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Do we have a Black Wall Street today? Do we have a Black Wall Street today?
Were all over.
Similar, I understand it, but they destroyed Black Wall Street, is what we're saying.
Today,
we talk about it. It's not saying overall Black people was up, because we weren't. There was a pocket.
Do we have number one?
Hold on.
Oh, I thought you liked interruptions.
There was a pocket.
Everybody 15 times.
All right, so I sit here the whole time when y'all keep going, and then when I try and interject because you're gonna keep going, now it's cutting off, right?
Pretty much,
y'all get it.
With you.
No. Here's my two questions for you, Law. Number one, do we have a Black Wall Street today? I'm gonna answer that for you. No.
Have you ever been to Hyde Park, Chicago?
I'm gonna ask you.
Have you ever been to Hyde Park in Chicago?
Okay, let me ask you the second question.
No, you asked me. You asked me the question, and then when I answered it, you want another question.
I just said I'm gonna ask you two questions. I stated the premise of where I'm coming from before I even started talking, so you can be patient. So the second question I'm gonna ask you: if Black Wall Street back in the 20s, 30s was still there, or was still here today, would it be an impact on Black economy right now today in 2024?
It absolutely would be. It absolutely would be. But the point is,
obviously, if you left Black,
the point I'm making is it was only when we talk about Black Wall Street and we saying you're using that as an example of Black people. Hold on, you're using that as an example of Black people being up, right? I'm just saying we have to remember it was only 10,000 people that lived in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So understood.
It's not like this was prevalent all over, right? This wasn't prevalent all over.
Understood. It was just 10,000 people back in the 30s that were extremely wealthy. And we know that it would have been a huge impact today. We do know that a house that cost $10 back in the days costs $1 million today. What I'm telling you, I'm asking you, if you scale that amount of wealth back in the 1920s and 30s and you scale it to today's economy, how much of an impact would that have on the Black economy today? It would be it don't even matter if it
would have a great impact. But the problem, what I'm saying is, it doesn't exist anymore, right? They destroyed it. What I'm saying is they destroyed it, but we also have to remember that was a small pocket. It's not like that was going on everywhere. We go back to that because that was the
Hold on. Let me say one more thing, Casey.
So wait, Darwin. Let me say one more thing. Just like Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was Nicodemus, Kansas City. There was Rosewood, Florida. There was Fort Mose, Florida. There was Oklahoma, Freedmanstown. There was Texas, Freedmantown.
So out of those, how many of those were burned down and destroyed? How many of those were burned down and destroyed?
You were saying that in Black Wall Street was the only one of its kind. Like it wasn't happening. Ruth said it 10 times.
That's not what I said.
Happening. Ruth said it 10 times that it was happening in other cities around
how many
the
were
country.
Destroyed like Tulsa, Oklahoma?
That's not what she was saying that you were trying to debunk. You were saying that it was only happening in Tulsa.
No, I did not say that. You are assuming. That's not what I said.
Okay.
What I said was it was not prevalent.
Yeah,
I said it was not prevalent, and Black Wall Street was only 10,000 people is what I said. So when you're using the point, Darwin, when you're using a point to say that, we were ahead, it was only 10,000 people in that instance, right?
No, let me correct you. I was using this point to put emphasis on that. The fact that you said it was a small pocket or it was only a small group didn't matter. Because today it would have had a huge, it could have been 100 fucking people back in 1920. If that amount of wealth today, translating today and scaling today, would have been massive. Would have been massive today. Would have been a massive difference in our people. So I'm telling you, for you to sit here and just take that and point out the fact that it was a small population or it was a small pocket, it's not even credible.
No, so Darwin, I agree that especially if you include compound interest and all those things and the potential for that money to have grown, it could be huge. Why does Black Wall Street not exist today?
It don't exist. It's not that it don't exist because of integration.
Darwin, why doesn't Black Wall Street exist today?
From my understanding, it was destroyed. It was an attack on Black economy a number of times, a number of occasions, for some ill intent, malicious intent.
So if someone was to say that due to the malicious intent and attack on the Black community, would that be a fair statement?
Can you repeat that, because you kind of cut off?
If someone was to say that due to that attack on Black people and the wealth, it was stolen and prevented from growing in the interest, the people who attacked it are responsible for that not existing today. Would that be a fair statement?
Absolutely. And I would also say that's one of the factors. The other factors is it discouraged us from coming back together.
Use, man. Hit the like button. You know what it is.
Proved in so many occasions over history, hundreds of years, that if we work together, we can excel no matter how many obstacles or challenges you put in front of them.
Not if you make
until integration came and crippled us with all this welfare and all this other shit that keeps us in one place, we never even entertain coming together to work out. We don't even have a sense of urgency to come together. We don't have the bugs biting our ass. We don't have the cold winters freezing us at night, making us get off our ass to work together. We're sitting in AC in Section 8 in $500,000 house, paying $100 a month.
No.
What?
We don't have that push no more because they put a blanket on us and said, "Hey, look, this will cover your wounds." And we look at a blanket as a bandage, a temporary bandage.
Well, I don't understand that ideology, where that brother's coming from. I kind of dipped out. We're gonna get through it and then we're gonna go back and piece it all together. Go check out the La Peep Network. They be cooking over there. You know what I'm saying? We just reacting. Dr. Hood, Buck City Kennels. We just reacting. Andrew Joseph in the building. I see some heads in here. Young Zoe LLC in the building. D Brown, what up, brother? Let me see. JJ in the building. What up? Marty in the building. Yurok in the building. What up, brother? All the usual suspects. LeBron Queef. Salute. I smoke loud. What up, G baby? Baby G, sorry. In the building. Salute everybody. Hit that like and subscribe button. Clever Girl Reading in the building. Hey, you back. Joseph Townsend in the building. Salute. Rather, if you're listening on the Dr. Hood Network, if you're listening on the Buck City Kennels APBT Radio Network, I think I streamed it to Kraken Kennels also. So if you're checking it out on any three of those platforms, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and let's get it. Cecil Jackson in the building. What up, brother? I see you. I see y'all, man. Let's get it. J83. What up, brother? You know how we do. Let's get this conversation started.
25, we might.
And it's just going to keep continuing. Because we got people on here that don't want to look at the damn research, look at the facts, look at how things transpire and try to understand it. Instead of talking about, oh, he spoke on this, he's just a coon.
He is a coon.
What is the context?
And the one part that you said, Darren, is that the integration part, it basically all the black dollars left the community. We're the only people that don't recycle our money. So our money leaves in the same day it goes to every other community. Oh, these are numbers.
You want to know why black dollars leave the you want to know why black dollars leave the black community?
Because we don't own shit.
We don't own shit.
And why don't we own shit?
Because we couldn't buy shit.
Because the white man ice is colder. We rather get their shit than
nobody. That has never been a thing.
Exactly.
Never been a thing.
White man's ice is colder.
Nobody. No. Like, see, the thing is that y'all are listening to one ignorant
Hey, this one can go up and down. This argument can go up and down.
Motherfuckers say something stupid and extrapolate that to the entire community. Black folks, by and large, was not saying I want the white man shit because the white man's ice is colder. Even if y'all did, even if y'all do want to use that statement, that was an analogy to the fact that in black schools there were bad textbooks that was falling apart. The school was falling apart. Meanwhile, in the white community, they had good textbooks. They had good schools. Their schools weren't falling apart. They weren't dilapidated. That was the whole point when they were talking about y'all saying we're separate but equal, but we're not equal.
But why didn't
that
you
was
say
the whole
anything
point
about recycling a dollar? Why you pick that little point?
Jesus
Focus
Christ.
on recycling a dollar because
you can't recycle a dollar.
Yeah, you can't recycle a dollar if you're uneducated, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's educated people. Listen, black people make up of 0.5% of the nation's wealth. I know a lot of people didn't know that, you know, not 1%, not 2%, not 20% of the nation's wealth, 1%. So if you look at that, and you can say that motherfuckers is careless with their money and, you know, do all of this shit. I know a lot of black people that do just fine with money, you know, but there is no excuse for any culture in the United States to be 1% of the nation's wealth. That's ridiculous. You know, and we can't get all this shit. A lot of this commercial real estate and, you know, all of this, like, if you want to own that shit now, you got to pay an arm and a leg to get that type of property to set up shop for malls and, you know, all of this extra shit, you know, in the prime areas. Prime areas got a lot to do with it.
You can't recycle. How do you recycle a dollar without ownership? How do you recycle a dollar without ownership? How do you recycle a dollar without ownership? How do you recycle a dollar? Answer that question. How do you recycle a dollar without ownership?
Listen, it's not an excuse, but Ruth, here's my thing.
Hold on, y'all. One mic.
How do you recycle a dollar without ownership?
If you so
Ruth,
right.
if I get paid and the grocery store in my neighborhood is not owned by me, but I need to feed my family, where can I take my dollars?
What about Versace and
the
gas?
Hold on.
Most black folks don't fucking buy Versace. What are we talking about?
What about the gas station? I need to go to work. I need to hold on. I need to go to work. I have to put gas in my car, right? But I don't own the gas station. So what do I do in that scenario?
What black person owns textiles?
Right. Oh, what if you got to catch the bus to work? I don't own the bus company, so I have to pay that money. So listen to what we're saying.
We used to own the bus companies.
You didn't want to ride on the bus company.
The
you know
bus
what?
boycott started in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If you didn't
Thank
know
you.
that, that's history for your ass.
Do you know what Martin Luther King said in his last speech?
Keep us at the back of the bus.
Martin Luther King said, instead of fucking integration, I felt like I led my people into a burning building. He said we should have came to DC to get our damn check.
Y'all denying history. Bruce gave a whole history lesson.
How do you cycle a dollar with no ownership?
And y'all, Bruce gave
nobody
a whole
can answer that question.
Lesson. Sweeney, you keep trying to pivot from what he's dropping and what he's
because
saying.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He does.
I'm sorry, he doesn't.
He
doesn't.
He's talking history.
He's not. Nothing about what he said is factual.
It happened in Louisiana.
Nothing about what he said was factual. Nothing about what Bruce said was factual.
Yes, he has.
Nothing
yes,
he said was factual. No,
you're
he
lying,
didn't.
Sweeney.
I am not lying.
You're lying.
If
you are
look
lying.
at
You're flat out lying on this podcast. You're flat out lying on this podcast.
What research?
And
you said that black folks don't cycle a dollar.
One mic.
You said
when he brought up that it wasn't just happening on Black Wall Street, when I gave you the other cities across America that it was happening in, that black ownership was happening before segregation. See, Sweeney, you see how you cut me off? You see how you cut me off?
Because I was literally in the middle of a statement anyway.
Cutting me off? You were not talking. You were not talking.
You really don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, man.
I'm very educated, and everybody on
I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell.
You need to be educated.
He talked about black ownership before segregation, regardless of what you're talking about when Jim Crow and all this other stuff and school. You keep going back to school.
You said black ownership before integration. Black Wall Street was in the early 1900s. Integration didn't happen until 1960. What are we talking about?
Oh my.
What are we talking about? How are we better off? Integration didn't happen until 40, 50 years later. What are y'all talking about?
Sweeney, when he said
integration did not happen until 40 or 50 years later. Black Wall Street was destroyed.
Hey, Fig Junkie. Hey, they argue with facts. Lamont Edney in the building. Lamont Edney Jr. Salute, brother. Glad y'all could make it in. Stephen Hostler in the building. Yeah, let's get it, man. Hit the like button.
In the early 1900s.
Sweeney and Casey, we got to make sure.
Come on.
First of all, I want to apologize to Law earlier. I ain't mean no disrespect to you, man. But secondly, if you scale this conversation up, it is the same shit that goes on amongst our black people as a mass. We can't get it in order. We can't even agree. We disown our own history. We can't even look back at the facts and accept the shit that took place. It's a damn shame.
In what aspect, bro?
Because you're not stating facts.
Because
you're wrong.
My last argument was on what you said was we talked about the black dollar circulating. And I said, why does it not circulate? Because we don't own anything, is what me and Sweeney was saying. So my thing is, if I have to pay for my family's food, but we don't own the grocery stores, then where's my money going?
Right.
We don't own the gas stations. We don't own the coffee shops. We don't own these
clothes. We
but that goes so Sweeney. You remember? Hold on. Because see, here's my thing. I was talking, and then I got cut off. Right, Sweeney. Remember when we talked about this a couple weeks ago? It might have been on King Talk, and we were discussing how you can't just go out and buy your building, right? You don't have that wealth to just go and buy these things, right?
Right.
We weren't able, like a lot of these others, either come to this country and get grants to purchase properties and start businesses, or they have gotten inheritances from when they were given shit for.
So why is that so fucking hard to know? Why is it so hard to know? I'm from the Seattle, Washington area, Seattle, central area, Seattle. And there was a little part in the central area and little tiny little pockets in the South End, Central and South End. Those were the only places that black people could get loans to buy houses. They would only give you loans to buy the house in a certain area, right? There were laws. They got documents. I saw a document, old document on a house deed. It said, this house can be owned by none other than the Caucasian race. They abolished that law. Like you couldn't do that, I think, past 1982. Okay, so we're just coming up on like 40 years of that. That's not that long. I think we're thinking like, that's not that long ago. And still some people, they won't sell you a house if you're a certain race. That shit still goes on. There's still pockets in the United States. If you live in one of these more condensed, diverse areas, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see, the shit really play out. But this still goes on. So you put all these blacks in a certain area, and then you come back 25 years later and gentrify the place. So now you're scattering everybody around because we can't afford those home values. All of the property tax and different things forces us to move out. Okay, it's easier to fuck up somebody. You put them all in one area. That way we can keep the police. I was wondering why it's so many police in that area, right? Like, damn, why is it so many cops in the hood, right? Because they're trying to keep your ass in the hood. They don't want you to go over to the Medinas, the Bellevues, the Mill Creeks, the Blue Ridge. You can look up some of these spots. These is $1 million neighborhoods, bruh. Ballard, okay, Kirkland, Redmond, Issaquah, you know what I'm saying, Renton, right? Black Diamond. You know, it's a lot of these spots that those are $1 million legacies now. Those are $1 million legacies. Those houses 40 years ago were $30,000, right? In areas that we couldn't buy. My grandpa was well-to-do. They moved up here from Texas, right? It was a bunch of them. It was like 11 of them. They was well-to-do. They all own homes in the central area, though, you know, which turned into the most crime-infested, drug-infested communities, bro. That's the only area they let us be in. You got to understand that shit. That shit's real. And it's not like, you know, somebody's complaining all the time about nothing. It's not complaining. It's just raising your awareness. So next time you want to go buy a fucking Gucci belt from an Italian motherfucker or something like that, just know that we have for 1%. Building your community, the education for your children, shit like that is far more important than Gucci belts and shit. And any bitch that only fuck with you because of you got a Gucci belt, that bitch ain't shit either. Right? Just because you don't want to spend all your fucking money, you want to leave some generational wealth for your grandkids. $1 million houses, they was $30,000 and shit back then. Blacks couldn't buy in those areas. They had laws. I'm gonna pull that shit up. I'm gonna do some research and then pull that shit back up. You know, these documents and shit, you know, that was written out. You know, so the war on drugs, I can make a whole channel and just talk about the war on drugs and how it impacted the black communities and the communities of color. You know, I was locked up. There was a white dude. He was cool as a motherfucker, dog. Big dude. You know, he was probably like 6'2", 220, you know what I'm saying? Big dude. You know, he was probably doing a little bit of fucking off. You know, he came to jail, you know, started getting his weight up. You know what I'm saying? He was doing push-ups and shit, working out. He went to court. And I'm telling you, man, this guy got home invasions, burglaries, fucking, you know, 30 felonies. 30. This guy said he had like 30 fucking felonies, dog. I'm telling you. He goes to court. They let his ass go, dog. They let his ass go. They got my ass up in there because I was trying to start a fucking business, dog. Everybody that saw what I was in there for, they was like, man, that is some bullshit. Are you serious? That is some bull. I can't believe it. Like, it was awkward me telling motherfuckers what I'm in here for some fucking dogs. Dog fighting ring and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this guy goes to court, comes back to the unit, happy as fuck, shaking motherfuckers' hands, hugging motherfuckers and shit. I'm like, damn. This motherfucker must have got some good news. You know, he gonna come over and fuck with the commissioner, right? What's happening? I got all the Snicker bars and shit. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? Oh, they let me go. You know, he ended up getting picked up on DLC, so he never walked out the door. He got picked up on DLC because you know what time they leave, rather if you going to dress out or if they got that chain bus, you know, that DLC getting ready to take you to another jail. Maybe you got to do a little bit of time, 20 days or something. I think they put a cap on that shit now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, what did you do? Because I cut his hair before. I cut his hair the night before. I cut his fucking hair the night before. And we talking about this shit, man. You need to get the fuck out of here. You got your kid. You got this. You know, we was going to do some shit on the house. Right? I had like 3 more months left or, you know, 60 days left. You know, I was a short timer at that point. I said, bro, how did you do that? How did you do that? How can I do that? He said, you're not white. He was a white dude, bro. I'm going to get him on this channel. Because we used to splash about women and, you know, all of this shit. It was a lot of dudes in there for DVs. I was like counseling motherfuckers. I'm in jail counseling dumb niggas, you know, that want to hit on fucking women and shit. You back 3-4 times, hit the bitch. Come on, man. 40% of the motherfuckers in there was in there for DVs, bro. I swear, man. I swear, this is shit you'll never see. You got to be in there to see this shit. You never know. You know? So this shit's crazy, man. They definitely gonna profile you for your skin color, dog. And if you don't believe it, they did a study. Go get that book. It's called The New Jim Crow. Go get that book. That was a book I read when I was down. I stole the book from the fucking jail. That book was so fucking good that after I read it, I kept it. Put it into my property because it's another inmate's book. You know, the inmate, we buy books. Michelle Alexander. There you go. See, now I got some people in here that know what the fuck I'm talking about now. Okay. So I'm not the only one knowing about what the fuck I'm talking about right here. Okay. Good. That's good. You know, I smuggled that book up out that motherfucker because I said my kids are going to read this. I'm going to pay them to read it because I already read it. I can ask them some questions about it. They can, you know, answer the questions. I'm going to pay my kid. What's a fair amount to pay your kid to read a book? You shouldn't have to. But we buy Gucci shit. So why not get a kid $20, $50, $100 to read this book, son? Right? That's a small price to get some good knowledge in a kid, dog, that could use it, right? You know, they did a study and it's subconscious. All of this shit is subconscious. It's something that subconscious is you doing things without really thinking about it. You're not giving any thought about it. Your mind just naturally does it. Like if you see a ball coming at your face, you're not thinking about what to do. You subconsciously put your hand up to defend yourself, correct? All right? That's subconscious. So this is what we're talking about, right? They did a study. I don't have the number. Maybe some of you guys can help me that read that book. They asked a certain amount of people, thousands of people, you know, or whatever. When you think of criminal or drug dealer, when you think and you visualize, close your eyes and visualize what a criminal, a drug dealer looks like. I want you to describe it to me right now. They said like 95% of the people that took the survey, they described a black man, right? You know why that's important? It's not to get up on here and go back and forth. Look, I don't want to fight anybody, right? I want to fight with intelligence. That's what I want to do. I want to be the smartest motherfucker, right? I take my time, I unwind. You go look at my videos. I take my time to unwind, but I also take my time to nurture my fucking brain and learn shit, right? Okay? The reason why this is important is because let's say you get pulled over by the police. Subconsciously, 95% of the people think that you fit the description of a drug dealer or a criminal, right? It's subconscious. Soon as you see that motherfucker, that's what you see, right? It's just like those guys with the, you know, when 9/11 happened, it's almost 9/11. That's good that, you know, I brought this up. When 9/11 happened, everybody had subconsciously in their mind who they thought the enemy was. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So as a black man, and if you turn the blind eye, look, if you're a white dude and you turn the blind eye to that I'm gonna get discriminated against more than other people, you're fucking blind. You're blind, bro. You're living a lie. You're living that American lie if you turn the blind eye to racism. You know, so there's a reason why motherfuckers don't got shit, dog. There's a reason for this. You know, they asked me who the fuck I'm voting for. Whoever's going for reparation. I want a motherfucker that's going to talk about reparations. Let us get some casinos and shit. You know, it was bad what they did to the natives and shit. The natives, you know, came to, you know, whatever. You know, I heard white people was getting native checks, right? I heard they somehow slipped in and was getting reparations and shit, dog. They got casinos. They got people that make thousands of dollars, dog, every month, each kid. You got moms racking up $5,000 a month, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 a month. When the kids get 18, they get 100,000 and shit. And you know, all this crazy shit. Every kid that they have. I think they only got to be like a 16th of these certain tribes. You know, of course, the tribe got to have like casinos and shit, you know, bringing in revenue, right? There was a guy, which let's go back to jail again, because this shit, you know, it's too many fucking squares on the internet. And sometimes you need a motherfucker that been up through there to talk to you, man. All these suckers on the internet. Hit the like button. You know what it is. We cooking today. So, yeah, man. You know, I had to go on my little rant, but this shit ain't fair, dog. This shit ain't fair. Okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I was locked up. I like that. I was fucked up. I was locked up doing 1,000 push-ups a day on some beast shit, right? There was a guy, he was cool, because I'm a cool dude, right? He was cool as fuck. He talking about, because I wanted to know about fishing. You know, I wanted to know, like, damn, you know, when is salmon season? And, you know, it's because motherfuckers, even though they locked up, you know, there's real people that actually know some shit. So instead of talking about cooking meth and, you know, all of this shit, I'm over here, we talking about fishing and shit. Like, okay, the native tribes, okay, so we need a fishing license to go fish, y'all. If you anybody on here that wants to go fishing, we need a fishing license. But the natives, they don't need a fishing license. They can go fish wherever the fuck they want, right? And we got to use a fishing pole. When we're getting salmon, we got to use a fishing pole. They can go get 2 boats with a net, and they can net their fish. You net the fish, you're going to jail, bro. You're getting a huge fine. You're going to jail, right? So this guy, so I'm like, damn, he said, man, you could come with us and shit. You could just be on the boat watching and we can be netting. And, you know, I'm like, how am I going to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come with us. I got freezers of salmon and shit. You know, his brother, his sister, you know, they got deep freezers full of salmon, dog. I'm a fish eater. Def Chef, what up, my brother? Def Chef. I'm gonna drop that link. If anybody want to pull up, it don't let you. It doesn't let you click the link, but you can type the HTTPS, you know, all of that into your address bar, or you can copy and paste it. However, you know what I'm saying? I love to hear from you guys anyway, or maybe not. Maybe you just want to hear me go off, right? So yeah, I got his number and shit, man. When I get out, bro, because he was getting out before me. I'm gonna hit you up, man. And when the season comes around and shit, you know what I'm saying? I need some salmon, dog. I'm just thinking like, ooh, I'm gonna go buy a whole another deep freezer just so I could put me 50, 60 salmon in that motherfucker, right? You know, so I could be stocked the fuck up, you know. He was talking about he ain't got no kids, 40 something years old, 40, no kids. He was like, when he gets out, He's about to have as many kids as he can, dog, because they only need to be 1/8 of his blood. He might be pure. I think he's pure, or he's half. You know what I'm saying? So he's good. Every one of his kids are going to be 1/4, right? So they're all going to get that $1,000 check every month. And then their kids are going to be 1/8. They're going to get that $1,000 check a month. It just doesn't stop. Boom, 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 boom. You can imagine with that right now what you could do. That's what reparations is, dog. That's what it's called, reparations. You know, motherfuckers getting checks and shit. Little ass babies. Your baby getting $700 a month, $1,000, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, depending on your tribe. Some tribes give out $2,000 a month, right? You know, that shit goes far from a ravished community, a motherfucker that, you know. So when a motherfucker say they against reparations for blacks after all we did for this country, railroads, all of this shit, dog. The Reconstruction era. What you know about that? Okay? As soon as they freed the slaves, or so-called emancipated the slaves, there was a time called the Reconstruction era. They had to after the war, they had to rebuild the country. So if you was a black man and you didn't have a job, you got caught somewhere, you didn't have a job, you would be basically locked up and forced to work for free for somebody. That's not free. That shit's not free, and it happened. A lot of people don't know. A lot of white people don't know. It's a brutal history that we all don't know. So before you so quick to judge, I just say do a little bit of research. You know, study the crime bill, the war on drugs, the crime bill. Started with Reagan, even though he was a Republican, right? Started with Reagan. Bill Clinton adopted it, right? Locked up more black people, you know, than anybody. So let's get it in, man.
Pennies on the dollar, right? So that's what's creating generational wealth that they already have. So now these buildings that we've been renting for the past 20 years that they've been owning are now worth millions of dollars. We don't have access to that because we still starting 400 years behind.
You want me to answer
you may have
question?
a few people here and there that were able to, you know, get ahead and maybe buy a building here or there, but that is not the vast majority of our people. We don't own our neighborhoods. We don't own the stores in our neighborhoods. We don't own the ground that we fucking walk on in our neighborhoods. Most of us, a large percentage, are renting, right? And hoping to be able to pay that rent next month. So
let me
when
ask
we
you
say
this.
the black dollar doesn't circulate, it's because we don't own shit.
So let me ask you this. Do you believe, what if I told you, okay, first of all, let me ask you this. Do you have any assets right now? You could say you plead the fifth.
Yeah.
And you own them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can own the assets you own right now, what's stopping you from going to get the same resources to go and own that house asset, to purchase a lot and grow tomatoes, corn, cabbage, celery, greens, and feed your motherfucking people? You can have a grocery store called.
That's the thing.
You can have a grocery store that you own.
Bro?
Hold on, wait. You brought up grocery store. You can go build a grocery store with the same money you went to go purchase your X6 or whatever the hell you got, and go buy a grocery store, put the property up, and sell food to your own people. It's not the fact that we don't own it. It's that we don't want to own
you
shit.
Don't think black folks try to own
Here's
farms?
my thing. How do you think?
Yeah. You know, this, you know, it could get nuts. It could get nuts. Out the mud, Cody. What up, brother? Salute to you. He said, damn exit. I don't be knowing. I don't be fucking knowing, man. These names, man. Salute to you. Glad you guys could pull in. You know what I'm saying? We over on the Dr. Hood. We on the Kraken Kennels. We on the Buck City Kennels. You know what I'm saying? I sent it, Chef. I sent the link, Chef. Let's get it in.
How do you think I was able to acquire anything that I have? I'm not a grocer, right? I had to work in whatever field that I'm in to even obtain the things that I do have. So going to start a grocery store, it sounds good in theory, but how realistic is that? I'm not.
It's very realistic. There's people out there that's doing it. White people been doing it the whole for
We don't
centuries.
own nothing. We don't own nothing.
We got a black owned grocery store in Houston. It's always empty, which is crazy because in Houston it's the majority black. It's one of the most populated. Store, right? Yes, it's a black owned grocery store in Houston. Food, all types of food. Matter of fact, help.
So we talked about the dollar, the black dollar
singular,
right? Can I read something?
And it's not being patronized. Y'all wait. Y'all want the white man.
Hey, the support needs to happen. You know, you gotta support your black businesses. You know, if you got them out here, you know what I'm saying? Let's have this conversation, y'all. What up, Chef?
What's cracking, boss?
Hey, man, up early, you know?
Talking this real shit.
Hey, sometimes you got to dig into that bag and, you know what I'm saying, you know, what's going on.
Sometimes you got to pop out. Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas.
Yeah, you got to pop out and show niggas.
You do it, too. You get it done.
Yeah, nah, salute to you, man. Salute to you.
Absolutely, same to you.
She just talking. Yeah, she talking, Cody. She talking. Yeah, man. So what you think, man? I mean, you know, the floor is open.
You know, we live this way. Like we're the manifestation of this. We really practice this old shit. So we're qualified to speak on it in a deeper capacity. And I will say this. I do agree with the whole perspective of a lot of us don't want the responsibility of ownership. We don't want the responsibility of having to curate and create, right? Because there's a lot of work in that. And what I do before I see it done, there's a bunch of work I got to do. I could easily do some cookie cutter shit and go work for somebody and do whatever, but the system is set up. There's not a lot of white employment that's going to allow me to help black people. And then with even doing that, motherfuckers is going to act like I'm not doing nothing when it's convenient.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the way this goes. But when you trying to do certain things, that's what you trying to do. Like I hear people, they be talking this Black Wall Street shit, man. The first thing I want to know, well, what is it you doing? I hear you talking, but if your thing is that, oh, you know, I'll say this because I used to be one. I work for the longshore. How you gonna work for the longshore trying to establish a black economic example for black people? That's not what the longshore is for. And believe me, trying to build something for your people in that capacity is gonna cost you a bunch of money before you make anything. This ain't Boardwalk Empire. You ever heard of Dr. Narcisse?
Nuh-uh.
Man, look him up, bro. The real Dr. Narcisse. That's what he believed in. And the thing is that for us to do that, we got to be ready to put some skin in the game. But a lot of cats, they're ready to sacrifice as far as conversation go. I'll sacrifice and I'll argue online, right? But bro, I can promise you right now, if I said, hey, Dr. Hood, let's recruit 10 other dudes and let's tell them, let's all get 5 racks together a piece and let's invest in something and just make something happen. The first thing they gonna be thinking about is the money they gonna lose.
Yeah,
If I'm
who's
gonna
gonna
lose
make
some
the
money,
most?
I'm gonna lose it to the hands of a white man.
Well, they're gonna worry about who's making the most.
Are we gonna worry about? We gonna worry about a bunch of shit that it shouldn't really matter, because what we saying is, oh, we want to establish this. Yeah, but I don't want to lose no money to establish it. I want it to just appear off of my words. I want to just say the shit and then it just manifests itself. Okay.
Yeah. Nah, you right. You right, man. You know, I just don't because the women, and I understand, you know, the black woman's position when it comes to this, because you know, they cheer for us a lot. You know, let's get them all theirs. You know, our mamas, grandmamas, you know, sisters. You know, we got some riders. You know, we all know some riders that's fucking with us. It ain't necessarily got to be the regular motherfuckers you see on the internet, you know, all the time, but they in our corner. So I understand the frustration. They want to see us in a winning position. You know, that's one of my goals before I die, to see our people in a better position. You know, but they got to educate themselves too, because I talked to my mom. She's a working woman, you know, supposed to retire a couple years ago, still trying to work. You know, I guess she might hang it up in the next 6 months or something. You know what I'm saying? It's about 66 now, something like that, 65, 66, you know. And her retirement's gonna be great. You know, I didn't see the end result. Yeah, she always told me to do this and do that, but she been able to put herself and her family into a decent position. You know what I'm saying? She didn't know about a lot of this shit. She didn't know why we were all forced to live in the CD, and because I don't cherish that land anymore. Like you know, like back in the day, like, you know, this is my home, you know, the CD, you know what I'm saying? This is my turf, even though I love where I'm from, but my desire to live there, like we all had the desire to kind of live there too. Like that was like a flex, you know. It's like
That's all, but that's all we knew, like you
you
said,
know,
bro.
I'm gonna live here,
That's all we
right?
knew. If all look, bro, if all you know is neck bones, and ham hocks, let a nigga come to you talking about a euro, you gonna be like, what?
Right. You know, so I had to get up out of that, man. I had to get out of that whole mindset, you know, that area, and you know what I'm saying? And she didn't know about the systemic racism, and you know that we weren't able to buy houses in Magnolia and shit. Like at my grandpa, you know, they had houses, you know, he got sisters and shit, you know, Uncle CA, you know, my grandpa Gene, he died last year. I was locked up. Um uh Uncle Leon, Uncle Buddy, Uncle, you know what I'm saying? Like they all had houses, dog. They all had houses in the CD. They all could have bought houses in Magnolia, you know, all on the water and shit. Like them houses was 20, 30, $40,000, 50 grand back in 1980. You feel me? 1985 and shit. Damn near 1990 shit still kind of cheap, you know. But they wasn't letting us get out in them spots. They would give us them loans to have us in the CD right there. It's not a coincidence that all the black people wanted to live in this fucking area which is a dump, though. Washington Middle School used to be a dump. Okay. You know, like we got to understand, like when I grew up, that it was all nothing but, you know, you walk down the street and you see like an alleyway with sticker bushes and shit. Like you got radiators and stoves and old, you know, the box VCRs and shit thrown all in there, trash and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we used to go and pick blackberries and jump up in the plum trees and shit. You know, this is back in the 80s, you know, early 90s, you know. So And now you go there, they try to put townhomes everywhere. The shit looks kind of nice, a little cluttered, but you know, it looks kind of nice.
Shit look weird.
That area is not like your prime, of course, a prime location wise. Yeah, you know, you're killing them, but you know, it's bigger than that, man. It's bigger than your neighborhood, man. Look at Nipsey. You know, backbiting motherfuckers. You know, you can't set up business and shit. Motherfuckers, oh, we could just open up a grocery store. You could just do, you know what I'm saying? Like, can we? Can we get our people to that point to where we can open up grocery stores and not worry about motherfuckers that want to get an unfair advantage and you know, take from you or take your life? You know, is it worth it? Or should I just take my money once I work hard, because I've been struggling for a long time. Once I get it, do I just dip off and go live up in the fucking suburbs and shit and don't fuck with niggas? What do you do? Because I need to tell my kids something fast. Like what do you do?
I mean, shit, man, bro. You know, if I'm the one giving the advice, it's gonna be an interesting session of advice, because I know what we need, but I'ma always tell a black person, man, save yourself, bro. Right? Like me, I got myself involved in something that's a never-ending battle. And winning, what does winning actually look like? Right? Well, winning would be me making a difference and passing down this knowledge and setting certain examples. That's what winning would be. But I'll tell any black person, man, if peace of mind for you is to find you a girl, find you a guy, do some Little House on the Prairie, Cosby Show shit, go do that. Right? Everybody's not meant to make these sacrifices. And you know, man, some of us just need to be good families. Everybody don't need to be an activist. Everybody don't need to be trying to sacrifice for black people. And I mean,
he said, have I ever heard of Sun Village? Nuh-uh. Mr. Biggs, nah. Where it at? Where it at, brother? Side Break Morris. He said, change comes as you get out and see that everything isn't the same way. Hey, for real, brother. He said, what hood am I from? I'm from the central area, Seattle, man. Chopper District. I'm from the Chopper D. You know, it's a lot of geniuses that come up out of there, man. A lot of good people. You know, we got some bad people too, but you know, there's a lot of good people that I could say, a lot of bosses that come from that area.
Yeah, real legendary niggas nationally. People don't even know their name. Like August Wilson. August Wilson used to hop on the bus and just talk to us like he was you or something.
Right.
You know, he's the dude who wrote Fences, that movie with Denzel. He did off Broadway and on Broadway plays.
Yeah.
Think about how long Quincy Jones was out here. Niggas didn't know he was from the district.
He said by the time he was 16, I've seen at least 34 states out of 50. Man, that's good. That's good exposure. That's good exposure, bro. You know, get up out there.
Man, I mean, that's cool. Hey, I'm going to say like this. I done been a lot of states too. And you know where I always was? I was always in the hood, bro. You know, like seeing traveling is great. But if when you go to LA, you go in the Circle City and the Pueblos and Carson, or when you go into Oakland, you in Oakdale, when you in Shreveport, you over there in the killing fields and all, you know, all these spots. I mean, traveling is traveling. But me, when I was doing all my traveling, all my family lived in the hood. Like I had one aunt who lived in La Puente, California, right? And we hated going over there because it wasn't lit. Nah, nigga, we want to be over on 74th and Hoover.
That's
We
right.
want to be up. We want to go over to Palmer Block in Compton.
Smoke something. What you guys smoking? Wake and bake. You feel me? Let's get it in. Hit the like button. Cause we ain't gonna go away, man. We're gonna keep pulling up, talking about these topics, everything. What was we talking about? Judge Mathis ass yesterday. Shit, that was a crazy
Man,
fucking stream.
some of your little listeners, they was triggered and shit. I'm all like, damn, you mad? You don't want us to unpack nothing about a black man, huh? Questioning niggas' sexuality. Oh, if you're indeed heterosexual. Man, that'd be funny, bro. When it come to a black man, they always trying to attack our finances and our sexuality. Oh, you're broke, you're gay. Never want a black man to have a perspective, but then y'all be like, man, black men holding everything inside. You got to express yourselves. Hey, nigga, as a black man, if you express yourself at the wrong time, they might try to label you a homosexual.
You might be on TMZ.
We'll do anything to really, at the end of the day, you just want us to shut up. And I always say, that's amazing how black men always got to just shut up, bro. Black men are always just being told, shut up, bro. Ain't that a cold existence?
He said the black man is the most boring on the planet. I mean, you know. Look, bro, you got to be more specific, bro. That's why I be leaving this link here because, like I said, you guys can come up and attack us or whatever, you know. We just having a good combo. We just having a good combo, man.
Hey,
don't
look,
turn the blind eye to this
thing.
shit.
That's another thing. Look at how we read. Look at how we wired. We're set up to be on attack mode with each other. Hey, man, some of the shit that niggas say about us or to us in the comment section, that shit don't even be warranted. But we operate from a certain level of sickness.
Man, tell them about some of the shit you doing in the community, man. Because I know somebody's comments gonna be like, you know, so what are you guys gonna do and what are you guys doing? For one, I respect what you do, and you know, just want to thank you for your contribution. But just share with us, just so you know.
Yep. So I mentor you, and I use cooking as a Trojan horse to get them to the people and to the services they really need. Right? Everybody likes to eat. Not very many people like to cook. This is why cooking jobs are everywhere. Right? And it gives kids an outlet, but it's just a Trojan horse. Most of you, 97% of y'all, will never cook commercially. You'll never do an event. You'll never do that. So why do I have you here? I'm gonna teach you my history. My cooking class is disguised as a cooking class. It's a Black history class. Every dish I make it relevant to the Black community. I don't care if there's not one Black student in there. You're gonna know about my people.
That's right.
You know, I feed the homeless. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm getting a little bit jaded off that because I'm trying to put my focus in the people with future goals, right? When you working with a shelter where they cater to fentanyl users and they let them use the fentanyl in the morning, they don't got to do job searches or whatever. Well, am I an advocate for them or am I a cushion? Am I an advocate or am I an enabler? Right? All that comes into the play. right? We gotta look at it that way. We gotta think of that. And we want to solve complex problems without doing the simple shit first. Cooking is simple. Cooking is universal. Like, let's start off all on the same level. We all eat food, right? The food could come from any country, any culture. It might be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian. It don't fucking matter. At the end of the day, the Trojan horse needs to enter the gates so that way, when we open the Trojan horse up, the real shit could come out. So that's what I do. I bring the cooking to them, and then we get to the real shit. I talk to the youth about politics. I talk to them about race relations and the American history of just how this country was established. We get into all that. Like, the cooking is cool. Even the community fellowshipping. Man, I do every month. We do this thing where we feed the community, right? Everybody just come out and eat. But you know who else I invite? I invite business owners, operators, different organizations that have resources, because if you're here and you need this free food, you probably need another opportunity. Because I'm not going to be able to feed you every day. I tell them all the time, hey, I'm here to give you something greater. Like, yeah, whatever I'm giving you now is cool. You gonna piss that out and shit that out in a couple hours. Then what? Then what you gonna do? If I feed you this morning, you ain't gonna be hungry later tonight. I'm trying to take care of you for the night. And if I gotta give you some breakfast to get you to where these resources are, man, my nigga, I'll give you some pancakes and shit, little chicken or some sausage and over easy. I don't know what you want, man. Come get it. But I'm gonna have this lady here. She gonna have hygiene kits. I'm gonna have this other man here. He got underwear and socks, right? Well, I don't even know if we're qualified to deal with your addiction yet. Let's just get you clean draws. Then maybe you'll open up to me about your addiction. We got resources to help you get your license back, right? We got resources for, God forbid, single fathers or fathers fighting to be in their kids' life. This is all at the fucking food giveaway. So when you get up there, the first thing we want you to do before you get some food, talk to somebody, do some networking, tell people who you are and some of your needs, because the person you talking to might funnel you to somebody. You don't got to come to me, because I'm gonna be cooking and doing that shit, but it's all set up. Go around. We even have literacy. We have people who's here to help you learn to read and shit like that. Hey, bro, there's a lot of people, they got low literacy. You know, us CD niggas, we all read. Hey, man, everybody can't read, bro. Everybody don't know the terms, bro. So this is what I do. I provide services, and yes, mainly to black people. I'll help anybody. I'm a black man. So that's what I do. That's what I'm on.
Man, just in case, that was like the disclaimer, because motherfuckers will get up on here and be
what
like,
are you doing?
So you guys ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Look,
you're not nobody.
I try to keep this energy, man. I try to keep that energy that needs to be in the community.
Hey, but you know what? Here's the thing with that, Dr. Hood. As somebody asks you who you are and what you do, you need to be ready to answer that question. Hey, man, look, this chick who I used to fuck with, she be on some little bullshit. And so she always be trying to make herself part of some shit she's not really part of. And so she started, she was trying to talk to me about politics. And I was just like, I don't really care where you stand politically, because no matter who's in office, No matter what law gets passed, I'm going to be out here working on behalf of my people, making these sacrifices. She chimed in, oh, me too. Oh, you do work for the people? What is it that you do? Oh, why you asking me that? Why I got to explain that? Because maybe me and you could work together. See, what we're not going to do, we're not going to play with this. Because if it was some street shit, I couldn't just say I'm banging or I'm from a hood and you go for that. I'm banging on behalf of my people. What do you represent? What is it that you do? Because I ain't seen you at nothing.
Right.
I've never heard you at nothing. I don't know anybody who's ever worked with you, but for the sexiness of the conversation, you gonna say, I'm fighting for black people. Nah, you're probably working, you're taking care of your kids, and you know what? That's a fight unto itself. But that's tokenism, right? Like right now, I'm doing pretty good in life, Dr. Hood. That's tokenism. My people is doing bad. What is it doing for black people, right? With some of the shit that I got going. You know about some of the shit I got going. That's personal shit.
Right.
That's gonna benefit me and my direct bloodline. That's not a sacrifice for black people. It's an example. Oh yeah, this is what we could do collectively. Hey man, look, bro. A lot of black people just don't have the means to be entrepreneurs, bro. Being an entrepreneur is not cheap.
It's a gift.
So
I think it's a gift. I mean, anybody can do it because, you know, all it takes is a chance, you know.
Yeah.
But some people, it's a gift, bro. They just got that gift. They will not lose. You know, some people are really good at knowing what's a winning situation from a not winning situation. You know, I used to tell people you can throw something in the air, and before it hits the ground, I can tell you exactly what we can do with it to make money.
Yeah, you've always been you've always been that guy.
I'm gonna
I
figure it
remember
out.
when you was young, I was all like, this little motherfucker, what this nigga be having it popping.
Hey,
So
you know,
yeah,
let's go.
you've always been the dude who, yes, I can attest, you could throw something in the air and you can make it pop. Be like, man, I don't know how he's making this work. These other cats tried to do this. He did it. I'll give you that. And like you said, bro, it's a gift. It's a gift.
Everybody can't see the it's like chess. You know, if you can't see 3 or 4 moves ahead, 5 moves ahead, you know, you're probably not going to be the best chess player. That's facts. It don't got nothing to do with race. It don't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. You know, if you cannot see the future, that's what it is. You know, you can't see the future. You can't. No, you know, you better figure it out. Figure it out, dude. Figure it
See,
out.
one of the things I definitely know they don't want the revolution of independence. They don't want a bunch of black people in front of black people who know how to make a dollar out of a nickel. Some people who know how to make a sacrifice. Okay, I'm gonna work this job, you know, religiously, vehemently for 2, 3. I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna open this up and provide this example. This is why they closed SVI.
Right.
Because SVI was literally producing too many black entrepreneurs, bro. And yeah, everybody wasn't on the up and up. Some people might have been doing something a little nefarious, but SVI specialized in giving you them tools. It wasn't a college, it was a trade school. And you get up in there, you get you a trade. Okay, what's gonna make you money? You get up in there and you do that. I know cats who went to SVI, now all they do is run Airbnbs. But when you went to SVI, you was broke. When you went to SVI, you didn't have nothing popping. You went there as a last result. Man, they had some people up in there who knew the game. They gave you the game. You took the blueprint.
I never took advantage of that. Explain how. So that was a real good. I heard it was good, but see, me back then, I ain't gonna lie. School wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I just wasn't gonna fuck with school at all.
You didn't belong in school then, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Like, nah, you would have. There ain't no telling what you would have did in that school. You was really living that life. So you did the right thing. The one like that, and that's one thing I've always respected about you. What you doing, that's what you doing.
Right.
You're
not.
That's
what we're gonna do.
You know.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. One thing because I always heard people, you know, we from the CD, man. The CD's small, dog. So, you know, we all know all the players, man, that came before us. We know all the players. And like I said, there were some good dudes, but I learned a lot from the bad dudes.
Yep.
I learned a lot. One of my uncles, man, RIP. I won't even say his name because, you know, but it's a true story for me growing up. He taught me, we were cool as fuck. Love him. But his lack of success and just lackluster effort for like life in general made him be like the one of the number one or top 3 guys in life that I did not want to be like. You feel me?
But I know who you talking about. He would say that though, like, this ain't what you want.
Right.
You know, like, believe me, like, have a work ethic, have a plan.
Right. Yeah, he never glorified what the fuck he was doing, dog. I give him that.
Exactly who you talking about.
Right. You know. And there was a lot of other people, not him in general, because he used to follow through. You know what I'm saying? He was around when Pops was fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So I give him everything because as a man, he, you know, I love him. I love him. You know, that's my uncle. But his lack for being able to own shit and just like never can't get right type of guy. You know, that was like always in my mind. No matter what I'm going through in life, I've always what old girls say, man, she's running from that shit. I'm running from where I know I'll be if I quit, you know, today and don't want to be shit and don't want to have shit, you know. That I'm running from that, you know, because that's a reality for some of us, you know. Some of us, if you don't get off your ass and get it going, get it cracking, whatever the fuck it is, I don't discriminate with nobody, dude, man. As long as you ain't telling on nobody and just making a motherfucker's life hard, you know. I salute you, man, for whatever you do, you know. But you know, I learned from some of those dudes too. You know, and our city was full of motherfuckers just kind of procrastinating, people that just kind of didn't get over the hump and shit. You know, I mean, there was people that did, but you know, it was a lot of like a Rand University. Remember Randy Moss's shit?
Yes, bro.
You know, the Rand University.
Seattle,
like,
the
you know
CD was Rand University,
I'm
bro.
telling you, dog. I'm telling you,
bro. That's the perfect.
You know, you make it about that bitch, bro. You a motherfucker, dog. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, you make it about that bitch. Like they say, you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, nigga. You make it about that bitch. Shit, salute you, brother. You know, that's why it's always a good feeling when I see cats that I grew up with, you know, back when I didn't have a car and shit. You know what I'm saying? When you might see me smashing down the street in the back seat and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because from there all the way to now and their journey also from, you know, where we all came, it's huge, man. That's a blessing, you know. So I think it's more to come. We just got to push it together and you know, take advantage and move fast. I notice when you move slow, because these months, you know, will get up on you. These month after month after month. When you're looking at business, you know, yeah, sure, you're gonna have this business coming. Yes, gonna be some business coming, but it's always good to accelerate shit and move fast, because if you can get more in that month, you can get more in next month, and then it just kind of pushes the shit, you know. Just like if you selling dope, you know, I could buy 10 pounds and take a whole month to sell it, you know, and make motherfucking 10,000, you know what I'm saying? Or I could fucking sell the shit in 4 days, you know, and make 4,000. You know what I'm saying? So what's better? 4,000 in 4 days or 10,000 in fucking 30 days?
That's the importance of education and mathematics and
You
shit.
see what I'm
Because
saying?
when you got that, it's an easy formula. That's what division is for. Wait, hold on. There's how many days? Okay, 4,000. It took me this many days. Okay, 10,000 for the whole month. 4,000 over the course of 4 days.
Not
Okay,
even a
I
week.
have 7 times
Right.
4, nigga. That's 28. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold up now. I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. So it's all the
Yeah.
same, dog. I use everything I do, even these streams I'm pulling up. I'm doing it, you know. Hey, it's all I relate everything to the dope game, bro. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know who you are. Well, look what he
Well,
said. You
it's
know,
one of the purest forms of trade to ever
bro,
exist.
bro.
Like the dope game is the new age Silk Road, right? Because in the Silk Road, it was all there. Like you could buy anything. You could buy pussy. It don't matter. The Silk Road was the farmer's market, but it was the farmer's market on steroids. It was like no one was going there to spend a couple.
Yeah. Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
This is somebody's calling. I'll call him back. But this is real trade on the Silk Road. Hey man, with the dog, there's every level you can imagine. Right? There's every level you can imagine. But the bottom line, everybody's trying to make a profit. Everybody's trying to work a deal. And you know what? There's a small window.
Hell yeah.
For the most part, there's a small window. And that's another thing we need to start teaching these. Well, not to say start because they've been, but we just need to instill it more. You don't have time. Nah, make it happen now. Yeah, man, we know money ain't everything. Hey man, get you some money now.
Man, you got to get you some good product. Get you some good product that you know everybody wants. You know, look in your area and see what your area doesn't have. Like these are prime ways to blaze your own path and get money. You know, there's enough out here, but it's not enough if there's already 30 fucking hamburger spots within a mile radius and you want to go sell hamburgers. I don't care how good your hamburgers are. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. When we're talking about business, you know, this shit ain't personal. Yeah, you
Right?
got good ass hamburgers and people come in there and, you know, I take my girl there like, yeah, Sam's Hamburgers is they going out of business. Man, they got some bomb ass hamburgers. Let's go down there and support them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a $50 tip. Okay.
Man, you need to call into the show. Who's
that?
This is covered up by the time. What's your name? Something pot. I can't see the name because it's covered up by the time.
Sabre Morris.
Hey, I grew up in a funeral home industry. And I hate seeing all these young guys killing each other because it's leaving a lost generation and it's just history repeating itself. I sure would love to hear this individual chime in and hear what they have to say. Now, this is a professional death, not necessarily dealer, but negotiator, right? That's what funeral homes do. They negotiate death. What can you pay? What services do you want? And you're seeing it every day.
Yeah, we could embalm him, all this shit. Or he'll last for 5 days with this shit. Or they got the new synthetic blend, probably got your ass lasting.
How come we don't never make the kids hang out with these type of motherfuckers for a day?
Right.
For one day, yeah. Or we have a little boys camp, you know, big brothers type shit. Hey man, for this weekend, we're hanging out with this mortician. Nothing's gonna be fun. You probably won't laugh one time. Yeah, fuck around and see one of your partners at the morgue.
Right. Nah, for real. That's real.
Yeah, nigga, hang out with a mortician.
Cause nobody talks about the morgue though. I ain't never heard nobody make a rap about the morgue.
No one ever talks about that.
No, nobody never talks about the morgue, dog. We need to get some prices up here.
Now, look, bro, if there's anyone who know about this shit, would it be the people, bro, who's processing the bodies, bro?
Nah, we need to get some prices, dog. We need to get a mortician up in here.
Link, man. We need
to get these prices so motherfuckers can know when they go outside with that bullshit, they can know what the fuck they getting themselves and their family into, bro. You know,
if one of my nephews, I'm gonna get a price sheet. Switch it up. What are we looking at financially? What's the cost of him to die? Let's talk about that. I know how much Jordans are. I know how much the Birds is going for. I know how much a P is. I know how much whatever car. How come I don't know this stuff? I'm not saying I personally don't know. I want to have a conversation. And really, not even the conversation. I want to hear the experts talk. That's what I mean by conversation. I want the experts up here to tell us what the fuck.
Yeah, we need to know that. We need to know that.
Yeah, we need to know.
This is that shit that they're not gonna talk about on these other shows. They too busy worried about who getting some pussy and who getting laid and shit, and who ain't. You know, worried about what a fucking, like, come on, bro. This shit's important. That shit is not important, bro. Yeah. It's entertainment.
That's a fact.
He said 5,000 to 10,000 on the low end funeral.
Low end. Hey, now we've talked about this when you first started these shows. How much money does the average black household have, Dr. Hood, on hand to just fuck off?
I don't know. I thought the average American only had $500 in their savings account.
$500, bro.
That's an average American. That's black, white, Indian. That's everybody. The average American. Then now this was years ago, so I don't know what it is now. Bro, maybe it's less now.
Yeah. Like the Bel Air money or the steakhouse money. That all you niggas, hey bro, that's our savings. That's our life savings, your Bel Air money, bro.
Yeah, man.
So if I can't afford to drink with you niggas, you mean to tell me I could afford to bury a child? And that's on the low end, right? See, you know why they told us the low end? Because they know we don't have a high end. It costs 5 racks to die. Well, not 5 racks to die, but for there to be some sort of procession, some sort of memory, some sort of recognition.
Yeah. Yeah, this shit, you know, I want to know. I want to see the price breakdown for this shit. Okay. Okay. Average funeral cost in Arizona. Let me see. 4 more rows. Let's see this shit. Hold on. Okay. Okay. A direct cremation. Let me get this on here. This shit's important, dog. You know, I'm sorry. You know, I take my time, you know, to give you guys the content. You know, all you got to do is just like and subscribe. I'm gonna bring this shit up, man.
Hey, now look, what be funny? Your little trolls who be in the comments, they're not around now. Like, why they ain't calling you a chatty patty now?
Yeah, because they don't want to hear this shit. Let's get up on here. It's probably small for y'all, but I'll go through some of the stuff. You know, they got the direct cremation. That's gonna be $575 to $2,650. The average price about $1,600 for direct cremation.
Wait,
Direct burial.
hold on. 1,600, right?
Right.
Okay, so how much money I got in my account? 500, right? I'm the average. I'm the average. I'm playing that role.
You got $500, sir.
Okay. All right, go ahead, man. Go
so
ahead.
You need to go make some fish plates. As a matter of fact, if you're getting $20 a plate, you sell about 50, 60 plates, and you know, you'll have it. Just go sell about 50, 60 plates.
Yep.
You feel me? Direct burial, they're doing $875 to $5,170. The average price about 3 racks. Okay. Full service funeral, not including casket, $1,295 to $6,590. Average price about 4 racks. Let's tack 4 racks for that. Transportation of body to funeral home, you know, that's going to be about $400 to $700. Average about $550 to transport the body to the funeral. That I might have to get in that business right there. I just transport the motherfucker to the funeral home and just get my little $200 off the top or something.
You're gonna make $5,000 a day.
You see what I'm saying? I might have to go buy me a hearse, and because at the rate idiots is going, that might be smart. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, transport body to funeral home. Okay, embalming is gonna be $525 to $700. You know, average about $600. Body preparation, bathing, dressing, clothing. That's a brutal job. That right there is a brutal job. That's $225 to $300. Average about, let's say, $250, which is real cheap. I think this is state of Arizona. So like if we go to like New York or some shit or LA or fucking, you know, I would just guess that the price is gonna increase. I'm gonna just guess. Okay, the casket's gonna be so you can get a casket for under $1,000. Okay. You can get a casket for under $1,000. Average price gonna be about 3 racks. Could go up to about 5,500, you know, depending on what you're doing. I know motherfuckers that probably paid more than that. You know, I don't know what my grandpa's was. I should have asked, because those are important questions. If this is the way you want to go out, you know what I'm saying? Full service, they talking about like 8 racks right there. Mesa funeral costs. They, you know what I'm saying? Phoenix, you know, it varies. If you're in Tucson, you know, it varies where you're at. But that just give you guys a rough estimate about what it's hitting for. He said Muslim don't use casket. Okay. No embalming and just wash perfume. Yeah, I feel you, man. No tuxedo, no tomb. Yes, sir. Yeah, you know, it's rough. It's rough out here, man. It's rough out here. You know?
You see? Now you said all that shit. I don't even got the transportation money.
Right.
With everything you said, you know where I'm stuck? Because I got $500. That's what I have.
Right.
Hey, bro, I can't even afford the transportation. If I, like you said, if I sell enough fish plates.
Yeah. Now you got some fish plates. You know, get some fish plates, tilapia, you know.
Oh, yeah. I can't afford no salmon.
Yeah.
It will not be a salmon plate, bro.
No.
Okay.
No.
And you're gonna get some potato salad, some like green beans out the can.
Yeah.
A
Bush
dinner roll.
beans. Then you
And
get
like
some. You probably
piece,
get some.
a piece of what should I give them? Sweet potato pie? Is that what we want? What they want? A little scoop of peach cobbler?
Nah, we could put a little bit of. We could probably put a little slice of pound cake in some foil off to the side. Just wrap it in the
little
foil.
Slice of pound cake in some foil.
Yeah.
Off to the side.
Right.
Man, come
or
on.
put it on top. We just put it on top of the food because it's in a styrofoam thing.
Put it on top of the styrofoam box.
Right. Exactly.
Man, come on, bro.
With the napkins and the plastic forks.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. No, what are we talking about? Yeah. That's what I mean.
Hey, man. I hate there's nothing funny about this, but we gotta do this. I don't know why we're avoiding it.
Nigga, we all gotta go through this, dog. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
What the fuck are we talking? Okay. So we can't talk about the real shit on YouTube. I get it. I say that then. Say that.
And that's the drill right there. That's how this is going down.
Let me go get the little tiger. Hold me down 1 second.
Yeah, I wish I had control of the board. I could see who else was saying what, man. Anybody? I know y'all got some perspectives and some experiences. Man, put that link together and come on up in here. The more of us that share our knowledge and our experiences, the smaller this gap is, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times, and I know y'all have experienced it, you giving a person the good word, you giving them the real information, right? You're giving them the real, and they're not really receiving it because they're hearing it from you. You know, you ain't credible like that. So I always tell my kids or any kids that I mentor or deal with, man, nah, don't listen to me because I don't know shit. Oh, they sounded like me. Well, one of us got to be right. Pick which one of us is right. It could be them. It could be them all day. Go ahead and side up with what they told you because I just want you to win. I don't need you to agree with me. Just agree with somebody who's right. And you know, some of y'all, your voice you might be that somebody who could get through to some of these ones I can't. It really do work like that. I'm talking about it's a kid I might be dealing with weekly. Man, he ain't listening to me like that. He might be, but he probably not. You know, now one of y'all, you could come together. You might have the presence, you might have the voice, you might have the energy, the look, the wordplay. There might just be something about you where they just fucking with who you are and what you own. We need you. And you know, we gotta have the vision. We gotta think past death. We gotta start coming up with 100-year plans. You know, I know for us, a lot of times we just plan for what we could be around for. And I understand that. Like the most important time is your time, right? Anyone who existed before us, like my grandparents, no one is gonna tell them that that their time wasn't what it was. So your time is your time, but your time is gonna end. And I kind of want to just normalize talking about it or having a perspective on it, right? Conversation will segue into ideas, and ideas will segue into actions, and there it's like Legos, man. It all goes together, man. It all fit. Look, one thing about a Lego set, I bet you not one of y'all, I bet you not one of y'all could show me the Lego set that don't work in comprehensive fashion with another Lego set. I get it. This is the Star Wars set. This is the Toy Story set. This is the Peanuts and Charlie Brown set. But can you mix and match the pieces though, fam? You could set the Star Wars character in Toy Story. They could stand up, nigga. You could put what's his name spaceship, but you could put Buzz Lightyear spaceship right next to the Death Star, and it's gonna lock right into the base. That's what we got to do. We got to make sure we're putting the paint where it ain't and interlocking these pieces. And really, the pieces are you people, you individuals, right? Because ideas, that's nothing more than some person's intellectual property. Like ideas have no value without the people attached to the idea, fam. I respect ideas, but I respect the people with the ideas. Like the ideas are kind of like emotions or a weapon. Man, look, this weapon is only deadly because a deadly motherfucker's on the other end of it. I'm not saying that you can't get cut by a weapon. Hey man, look, I'm a cook. I know. I know. Whatever gun, any of that shit, fish. I get it all. Man, we the catalyst, man. We the go mechanism. We the heartbeat of this shit. Nothing good is gonna come just because it's good. We gonna need a good person to make something good happen, right? But when we just talk about good and bad, oh yeah, it exists. But for it to be manifested, it gotta be done through the people. So we gotta educate ourselves. And you know what? Man, look, I know we want all our kids to go to these top of the line HBCUs, right? Everybody want their kid at Morehouse or Howard or Fisk. Those are great schools. Some of y'all go a step further, right? Some of y'all got kids at Lehigh and fucking Harvard, and man, y'all some cold individuals. But do your kid know how much it's gonna cost to bury somebody? I'm not like, look, because it happens to the best of us. Did they know this? We gotta start getting into that. We gotta start getting into, man, how much is treatment for this? We gotta start and I believe it's something that we are actively doing. So when I say start, we just need to start doing more of it. Like, man, Black people, we're in our bag. Black people are in our bag. Like, this isn't me sitting around, oh, criticism. No. Black people, we just need to do more of the good shit that we doing. We need to normalize it to where that's the absolute standard. Not because you're good, but because it's needed, because it's necessary. Y'all could kind of tell how I talk. I probably like to, I'm sure some of y'all, this nigga's a mentor, he's an activist. Yes, I am. Talking just like this. I'm smoking a stick right now. I done had a couple shots of whiskey this morning. Hey man, you feel me? I'm a hood ass nigga. But you know what? My people need me. And when I'm doing this work, I don't be smoking weed and drinking and no, I don't necessarily code switch, because I don't feel why I need to code switch to talk to my people, but I do rebrand myself in the moment. I do. Man, don't know motherfucking parents, nigga, want me. They want me coming with some respect. And no, not the type of respect I'm showing now. Like, respect. Watch what you say. You should be smelling like a cube that's a body wash. Nigga, why you smelling like purple runch? Hey man, yes, even though y'all know I smoke, y'all know I drink, man, let's be honest, bro. Should I be showing up as something to mentor the kids with a bottle? I mean, I guess I could, but should I though? Man, y'all ain't gonna respect that. There's a time and a place for everything. I think even that alone will make a huge difference. Just our timing. Being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Making it a point to not be somewhere that you probably shouldn't be. You know, all this stuff, man. Like, there's a lot of angles we could play. And if we do this right, we could make some changes. The fuck, I need to change that battery. Hate that shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, bro. My damn alarm keep on beeping. Look, see, I was just explaining to them about some nigga shit. See, that's some nigga shit right there. The beeping fire detector.
My shit, me? I got a couple going off.
Come on, bro. Like, that's my people. This is what we do. We save the country crop. I don't even eat country crop, but it might be the cream cheese barrel. Hey man, I repurposed that. I put stuff in there. You might go up in there. I'm about to make me a Seattle dog. Open that shit up, man. It's gumbo in there, man.
Oh man, Schoolboy dropping that heat early. He said anyone over 40 should have a living will, burial plan, 1,000 for quick emergencies, and 25,000 to retain a lawyer just in case.
Hit the link, man.
Woo!
Hit the link,
Woo!
bro.
Woo!
Because you might need to explain this to me, bro. Like, that I don't know. black people, man, sometimes we need a little bit more, bro. Hit the link, man, so we can figure this out.
Let me see. Yeah, that was some heat right there.
Yeah,
boy.
man. Come on.
That was that heat.
The same way it costs to live, it costs to die. Anyone over 40 should have a living will, burial plan, 10 bands for quick emergencies, and 25,000 to retain a lawyer just in case. You're a nigga in society. They might try to frame you tonight. You should have a lawyer for that. Man, see, I love when the realists show up. See, this person school. Oh, this is Schoolboy.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm muting up. This the big homie. I'm muting up.
All right. I'm liking the topics. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I just put that, it's something that people don't think about when you're younger. But after you get 40 years old, 40 years old to a lot of people seems like, I'm old. It's only half your life if you live the average lifespan. So at that point, that's when you plan for the future. And let me say something too, because the last time I was on Buck show, not the last time, but the time before that, I talked about a lot of doom and gloom, how people go out, how they end their life. And I didn't finish my point. I don't know why I'm losing it, but the reason I say all that is if you accept that and you understand what could happen to you, at that point, that's when you live your life. Find something to live for. Family, yourself, friends, whatever. Kids, focus on that. You'll have a better life, and don't stress about what's going to happen to you, because like you guys were saying, it's going to happen no matter what. So I started planning, and I got this from my mom, burial plot, make sure you haven't, it's paid for, it's all paid for in advance. Depending on who dies first, me and my wife, the other one has to be taken care of. That's already set. My business, I'm self-employed, I do all this dog stuff, and I do other stuff too. We have other endeavors that we do. That has to continue after we die, if somebody wants to continue it. So I have my family set up for that. It's not going to end. They just, they're involved in it, so they know what to do with it. $1,000 in case something, your car breaks down, you need a new washer, like that. But the money to retain a lawyer, anything can happen to you. And it may cost you a lot more than $25,000, but that'll get you to retain, get a lawyer on retainer to deal with whatever situation comes up. Could be anything. And that's just money put aside. Money's funny, because when it's in front of you, whether it's a little bit or a lot, you're going to use it. You're going to spend it. You're going to invest it. But when you put it aside, you just ignore it. It's like it ain't even there. And you got to get to that point.
I'm here. I'm still listening.
Okay. Any questions? There's a lot.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I have some questions. How would someone who just doesn't seem to have the ability to earn and save, what is it that they can do to reposition and pivot themselves so they become that individual?
Yeah. And the problem with that is people try to do it individually. And a lot of people do. It may take longer. and you don't owe nobody, and it's all on you, but it's real hard to do. So if you're talking about business, you want to grow, you need investors. If you don't have that much money, there's investments you can make. And what looks like a lot of money to some people, let's say $20,000, it's not that much to somebody that has money. It's nothing. So you can invest 20 grand with what the hell's their name? I did it. I'll have to look because I don't handle all that. My wife handles all that. You can invest $20,000 and you'll make 3 grand every 3 months for life, just with that initial $20,000 investment. And you can do that in all kinds of different stuff. And most of the investments, the return doesn't come till later. But you have to figure out a way to make money now. And what I stress to my kids, what I learned a long time ago from my parents, grandparents, is best if you learn how to make money doing something you like, that you're really passionate about. And it doesn't matter what it is, and there's different ways to go about it. But you'll be happier that way rather than going to work and and struggling. Even if you make $30 an hour, believe me, it's not a lot of money.
Nope.
It's not. Because of inflation and the price of stuff and the value of the dollar has went down so much, it doesn't mean anything. And money's just paper. It's just something that you trade. Before it was salt, or it was silk, or it's gold or silver and all that. They're just items. On their own, they really don't have value. They only have value when it comes to your income, how you get paid, or when you trade something, or you need to buy something. So, I'm not knocking college and school. It's all good, but school, what they teach you is how to get a job. They don't teach you how to make money. And it's done that way on purpose because the country, wherever you live, doesn't matter. The world needs labor. So if you're going to be a laborer, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be more independent, you have to learn to make money on your own. And that's one thing I learned a long time ago. We never really suffered that way. Even if I didn't have money, I just went out and made money. And the bills were paid, and we had a place to live, and we had food. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. But we never got into that mode where, we're homeless or suffering or behind on the bills. That's what you have to avoid.
How much of a struggle was it to be independent, make your own money, and have that freedom and that security? Was it easy? Did you ever have to lose sleep? Did you ever have to miss out on some things to make things happen?
Yeah, anything negative you can think of, it's going to happen to you. But there's no successful person that didn't have a shit ton of negatives happen to them. They just accepted it, understood why it happens, and moved forward. They didn't give up. So I didn't give up. It's basically that. And it takes years sometimes to do all this. You ain't going to go invest some money and then, you're going to see 50%, 100% on your return in 5 years or whatever. But as you move along, you're going to start raking in some money. You're going to start making money. You're going to better yourself. Quit buying a bunch of shit that don't matter. Quit being so materialistic. Because that's if you invest in stuff that ain't worth shit, you just throwing the money away. Doesn't matter if it's a Gucci bag or a Lamborghini and all that. The people that really have wealth and can afford that stuff, it's a drop in the bucket for them to go buy a Lambo. It's nothing to them. They just like the car. So if your rent or your house payment is 25 or 30% of your income, to get to that higher level, it has to be 1 or 2% of your income before you go and buy a house or you go buy a new car. It's very little. As my father-in-law taught me that lesson. He owned a big company, major lumber company. They had contracts with the government, all this and that. He wore his work clothes that had sawdust all over them, and he drove a VW Bug. And they were worth millions of dollars. And he had a nice house. It faced up against a hill, up in the mountains, in a gated community. But he wore the same suit to church every Sunday, blue suit. He didn't waste a lot of money. But when they needed something, it was there. And they just paid for it. They really didn't have any credit, any bills that way. And that's what I do. If I can't afford to pay for it, I don't buy it. It don't matter if it's $10,000, $20,000, $500, $20, whatever it is. I don't have credit cards, and I'm not saying credit cards ain't bad. You can use those to your advantage too, but most people can't do that. You're gonna go buy something, you're gonna pay the interest every month, and it builds and builds. So your $10,000 that you paid on your credit card ends up over a period of years being $30,000 or $40,000 if you pay it out. You're gonna have credit cards, pay them off every month. Credit cards, some companies don't like that.
I feel the way you feel. I'm like you, bro. Like if anything I get, man, I be, and I got credit, but if I can't pay for it, man, I'm probably not getting it, G.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't, because you'll get in a rut.
Yeah.
Hey, the boy said if he can't pay for it 10 times over, he don't even want it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But,
I don't live by that, but I think that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, because
I should live by that.
Yeah, you can get there, Buck. And the thing is, when people say that, you're thinking 100,000, 200,000. Like, it don't have to be a high number. It could be $50.
Yeah.
If I can't pay cash for this $50 pair of shoes, if I got to put it on a credit card, I don't need it. So in his perspective, if he can't pay 10 times for them shoes, he ain't gonna do it. So yeah, you can get to that point.
That's right.
What it does, the only thing it does, because money is whatever it is, and investment, all that, whatever it is. The point of the whole thing is you have peace, and you don't have pressure, and you'll live a lot longer, and you won't have health problems, and you won't have mental problems, stressing and dealing with all this bullshit that goes on every day because it doesn't. You holding your family down, you let your kids together, you pay your bills, you do basically whatever you want, and and whether you like to travel or you just like to do stuff at home, whatever it is, you got little projects going. That's all that if you want to call it wealth gets you.
All right, this totally off subject. As you can see, I'm eating right now, right? Def Chef is gonna tell me what I'm eating. I'm gonna give him one hint, and I don't want none of you motherfuckers to judge me. It's early. I shouldn't be eating this right now. But I went to the Puyallup Fair last night.
Nigga got some scones.
Yeah.
Man, I love those, bro. Bring me one of them, man.
What are they?
I'm eating some scones right now, man.
Oh, scones, yeah.
That's very British.
I'm ghetto. I don't know what it is. I know them joints was been good for years.
Yeah.
Every year. I got to get some every year.
That's good. Let me go out and come back in, but my earphones are going dead. I'll be back.
Okay. Appreciate you, schoolboy, pulling up. Now it's always good to get schoolboy on the joint.
Yeah, schoolboy. He be talking that Nelly Fuller, man. You could tell he got real life experience.
That's what you need. You need them elders around, man. So that they could keep sprinkling that good game. let you think about it from a different perspective. You know, like the 1,000 in emergency money, the 25,000 lawyer. Like that's mandatory, bro. Before you talking about coming outside and come off the porch and popping up, and you know, you need to have all of those things, man. You need that because you'll be out here damn bad. And you're gonna go get into some law shit, especially if you're trying to do business out here in America, trying to, I mean, you're gonna come in contact with some type of law, some shit. Like they said, the biggest, the real gangsters is in the corporate world, you know? They don't shoot you up. They just send the paperwork to you and serve you fucking paperwork, and you got to show up, you know? They ain't gonna do this internet back and forth shit. They gonna, a motherfucker gonna pull up. Hey, are you such and such? Yeah, I am. Well, here, I'm serving you this paperwork,
like,
you know.
Like
and
shit, even like the armed services.
Right.
I mean, come on, bro. You remember Oliver North?
Mm-hmm.
And how that whole thing went? Like, them is the real gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's one thing to shoot some dude who live around the corner from you, claiming another hood. Hey, these dudes execute coups, bro. They eradicate presidents and leadership and reappoint motherfuckers. They reset the currency standard places. They go to villages and make them all vote a certain way. Yeah, that's real gangster shit. What's up, schoolboy?
I'm back.
Hey, we're gonna talk about this crime bill. I'm gonna get some slides, and we're gonna revisit this because I don't think people understand the effect that should have, bro. You know, like that was the same time when they had the war on drunk driving. Well, it wasn't a war on drunk driving, but remember the DARE? I think it was it DARE or MAD? It was Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Right.
Because a motor vehicle hit a school bus somewhere. I don't know where.
Oh yeah, you talking about MAD?
MAD, yeah.
Yo, yeah, bro. They used to pull up to the school.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to go to the little thing they did at the school.
But drunk driving was killing more than drugs, though, at that time. So why did they wage the war against drugs? Because they want to just go up in the inner cities and fuck with blacks and colored people. But what's more dangerous? A guy, and it said it in this book. It said, what's more dangerous? A guy that sells drugs in the projects to earn a little bit of extra money to put food on his table, to help his mom put food on the table, or a guy in the suburbs that won't stop driving drunk and keeps getting behind the wheel. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's more dangerous? So they put military equipment to fight the war on drugs. Military, those tanks and stuff that they pulling up, battle rams and stuff, that was for terrorist shit. That wasn't for law enforcement, for drug enforcement. They're using military fucking equipment and shit to come get all the resources and shit to come get you in your neighborhood. That's huge. You know, if you look at the numbers of people that were locked up, I think it said in year 2005 that 1 in 5 black men were either locked up or on probation. 1 in 5, year 2005. So 20 years ago, 1 in 5 of us was either locked up or on some type of probation or community custody or some shit. To 1 and 120 whites. So 1 out of 120 whites, but it was 1 in 5 blacks. Now, I don't care if you're white or black. You know, that statistic right there is not gonna. I'm not just gonna read it and not stop and say, "Wait a minute." You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. So you motherfuckers need to understand that it's a big ass gap, dog. You know, and it's not complaining. These are numbers. These are statistics. I can pull this shit up. I don't know what it is today. Like I state where I got the information from. You know, that's all we can do on here. If somebody wants to combat what I'm saying and say, "Hey, well, that's inaccurate," blah blah blah. I got this. You know, that says this and this. We can go over the shit. You know, that's how conversations and debates. That's what we do here. We do this shit.
Yeah.
We do this
well,
shit over here.
I'll say this, but what happened with that is the dynamic changed because the prison system was privatized. It's there to make money.
Right.
One of the reasons you could say there's one ethnicity, whether it's black or whatever it is, why there's more of them of them in prison is because they can't afford to stay out of prison. Because however you go about it, you're going to pay into the system. Other cultures, other people have money to pay for that. They can afford lawyers. They can afford to pay people off. If people don't think that happens, that's bullshit. It does. So if you can't afford to stay out, you're going in. But they're built now to make money. All these politicians and CEOs and all that, they're invested in the prison system. And they're invested in the justice system. So they're going to get their money one way or another. It's just who has money and who don't. If you have money, there's a likelihood that you can stay out or get a lighter sentence. But you're still going to pay a lot of money into it. If you don't, then you're going to go to prison, and our tax money is going to pay for you to be in prison. That's what changed everything, in my opinion, because I follow a lot of that too. So there's reasons why, what for, who, this and that. All that stuff is valid. But if you get down to the nitty gritty, that's what it is.
Yeah, the prison system.
They have to make money. Yeah, they have to make money. That's all anybody cares about, making fucking money. So how are you going to do it? Well, like I said, they went from where it's government control, now it's privatized. Those investors want a return on their investment. So you're going to put people in prison over bullshit stuff, you know, really, a lot of it. Because the longer you're there, the more money is paid for you.
Yeah, no, it's a cold system. You know, and
Yeah,
it's a lot riding on it. A lot of people invested in it, like you said. You know, if it just stopped today, it will be a lot of people out of work, bro. It'd be a lot of people out of work.
Yeah, yeah. And you have a lot of people crying about their investment. And they have power, they have control. It's not a lot of people that control everything. It's a handful. It's in numbers, yeah, it's a lot, but as far as the population concerned, it ain't that many. And that's how they control the public, through money, which gives them power. They could write whatever legislation they want. Yeah, it'll pass. Yeah. They don't even go to the voters anymore. They just make a law and pass it. We got to eat shit. We don't like it.
Portugal, no drug possession laws. I read some stuff about what they did in Portugal. Like America, we invested billions and billions of dollars to fight the war on drugs, which has locked people up for small amounts of user amounts of crack cocaine, mandatory minimum sentences and things like that. Like he said, still got people locked up. Let me see. There was I had it on here. Anyway, they Portugal, they invested their money into treatment and shit, you know, things like that to help get people off of the drugs and help, you know, so they can be functioning in society. We invested more in the prisons and, you know, to lock motherfuckers up, policing and shit like that. That's why America locks up more people than anywhere on the planet. There's more people locked up in America than anywhere on the planet, bro. You know, that's a fact.
And another example would be, let's say Mexico, right? For whatever crime you commit, however heinous, you can only be there for 40 years. That's the stiffest penalty you can get. Doesn't matter what you do. They don't have a death penalty. They don't have life sentences like where you never get out. And those are for the stiffest crimes. But in the United States, it's all across the board. Whatever you want, from the tiniest incident to the gravest incident.
Yeah, I saw a dude with 900 years, bro.
Yeah.
900 years. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it's just because that's how the sentencing goes.
Right.
So ain't nobody going to live 900 years, but you have to put a number on it. You know, you get 25 years for this and 50 years for that and 75 years. So it just adds up. It's ridiculous when you look at it. It don't mean shit. You just ain't getting out. Right. And countries like Portugal or China doesn't allow drugs. Well, they have to figure out a way to make money by having those non-drug policies. Portugal invested in treatment. You make money at that, which is more noble than just locking a bunch of people up. So we could do it here too. It's just the system is set up that way, and it's hard to buck the system, excuse the pun, but that's what it is. The best thing to do is not get involved in it. You know, I've been to Mexico several times. Everybody knows what goes on down there, what can happen. If you ain't around it, it ain't going to affect you. You don't mess with the cartel or you don't do this or that, it does not affect you. You're safe. When you start getting involved in it, yeah, you could lose your life, and not only your life, your whole family's life. You're wiped off the face of the earth for one infraction. So here in the US, we got to teach young people a different direction. It doesn't matter whose fault it is why someone got on drugs. Stay away from it. Find something else to do. That's the responsibility of the adults, to teach their children certain things and to provide for them. It may take a generation or 2 generations or whatever it is to change that way of thinking. Stop making excuses. Well, this happened and that happened. It doesn't matter. It happens to everybody.
Right.
Get away from it. Leave it. But without a community being involved, it's real hard to do that. And other ethnicity, that's what they did. That's what the Mexicans do. They got away from that bullshit of servitude. In a lot of cases, they still have it, believe me. If people knew what happens with immigration, with the Mexicans, with the Chinese that come over here, you wouldn't want illegal aliens coming over here, because all that happens is they're taken advantage of. It's not, you know, they come over here to work. But generally, when they do that, whether it's legally or illegally, and more so if you're here illegal, you're beholden to somebody. You owe somebody. And they work the system to get it. It's not that somebody else that's just as competent could do the work, except for field work. Most people can't do that. But anything else, construction, hotels, cleaning, you know, lawn maintenance, all that stuff. Anybody can do it. But if you control the industry and you control the people, they're basically just slaves that have a payment that's never going to be paid up. They move you here and there. You work this. You got to pay part of your money. When you ain't there, guess who gets the unemployment? Not the person. The guy who is controlling you. I know people that have got unemployment check because they run 20, 30, 40, 50 people from all them people after there's no work. After they go back to Mexico or they go somewhere else, the head dude collects unemployment. And I see it happen because I managed a grocery store where one dude had 20, 30 checks going to his domicile. That's just one guy. How often does that happen all over the country?
Damn.
The unemployment don't check where it's going to. They just validate that you have a Social Security number, you work, you paid unemployment benefits. And one dude's getting all that money. With the Asians, they bring them over here. Now they're indebted to whoever brought them over here. So one example would be is let's say they work at a restaurant. Half the money they get paid is in a check. The other half is in cash. But they still owe the person, whether it's the restaurant owner or whoever it is, they still owe them rent. They owe them for food, utilities, all that. And these people can get moved around, whether they like it or not, here or there. They just send them to another restaurant. You're working here in Madera, okay, we're going to send you to San Francisco. You're going to work for him for a while to pay this debt. You're going to work here. And you're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that this happens to. That's why illegal immigration isn't good. It's not because on top of that, there's human trafficking and drugs and all that stuff. That's part of it, yeah. But there's an underlying facet to it that nobody even knows about, of these people being taken advantage of. And people don't care. Oh, they're just working. They work, they need work. They'll work. Yeah, they'll work. They have to. They ain't got no choice. Whether you're a laborer or a hooker, you're going to do some work, and you're going to owe somebody for the rest of your life. It doesn't stop. You never get out of it. That's why it would be cheaper if they did it legally. It costs more if you come over illegally and you're paying some coyote and you're paying some whatever, whoever it is. It's thousands of dollars. Doing it legally would take longer, but you're not beholden to anybody. But really, they don't have a choice. They have to do it that way. And now you owe them for the rest of your life. It doesn't change. People don't know about that, man. And I've seen it in real life in different cultures.
Yeah, that's real because if you go to Lowe's or any of them hardware stores, you just can't be over there. If you know how they have the workers and shit, and you pull up and you have them hop into your truck to do whatever, like you just said, they always get dropped off there because they got somebody who they gotta pay.
Yep.
Because I've picked them up and I've talked to them where they'll really chop it up because it's like, yo, bro, I'm not gonna get involved. But this one younger cat, he was just like, yeah, bro, you gotta take us back where I could just drop you out. Nah, we gotta go pay the guy. You gotta go pay the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. They gotta pay for transportation. So let's say this guy's in charge of 20 people that are on the corner. They probably all live in the same built house, right? They stack them up. So they have to pay rent. They have to pay for their groceries. They have to pay utility. It all comes out of their check. Not only that, they have to pay transportation to and from the spot, whether it's Lowe's or whether it's out in the field. Back in the day, it was $5 to $10 a day. So after all that, how much you think they have left over? And not only that, they're paying unemployment, Social Security, all that stuff. Whether it's a legal MICA or illegal MICA or Social Security number, all that. Well, when the work ends, like I said, the guy who's in charge of all that, he gets the unemployment. So it's just a steady cash flow all year long with people that are never going to pay off their debt because they can't afford it.
Like you had just said, it's slavery, bro.
That's what it is.
It's slavery, fam.
Yep. So if you from the Middle East or you from Asia, your debt is a lot more because it costs a lot more to bring you over. So it's never going to end.
Oh yeah, man. Cats is paying 50. Cats is paying 50,000, and like they're paying real crazy amounts to get here, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
that shit
gotta.
it ain't cheap, bro.
Now they either smuggle them over or they have fake documentation that allows them to come over. If you ask any one of them to show you their ID, it'll have a name on it. And if you ask them, is that your real name? 99.9% of them are going to say, no, that's not my real name.
Right.
I know somebody, or he's dead now, but I knew somebody back in the day. He made fake Mika's green cards, fake Social Security numbers. And they're fake. And eventually the Social Security Administration finds out they're fake. But by that time, the people are not around. They're not working anymore. It takes about
Right.
6 months. So they can work 6 months steady. And then they just dump that card and
Go
get another one.
right. That
And
rinse, wash, repeat,
even the
recycle
numbers,
again.
yeah, even the numbers were ridiculous. He would just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bunch of numbers at the end. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100, 200, whatever it is. They're not real numbers, but you can submit them. And then once, however long it takes for them to go through it and find out it's fake, the people ain't there no more. And it's just a repetitive revolving cycle of that same thing happening over and over and over again. So for me, that's why illegal immigration, we shouldn't have it, because it's set up to take advantage of the people that are involved in it. It's some real shit, man. I don't
Yeah, the
usually talk
people
like this, but Buck
the
has
people
given me a platform, and I can at least give some opinion and some
no, we
facts.
we we need this. We need to have these conversations, right? Because okay, have you ever heard of the bullets and bandages theory?
No.
If you have the bullets and the bandages, you don't need anything else because you're the cancer and
Yeah.
the cure, right?
There you go.
That's what America does. We like in everything. We specialize in it. What you broke down, America's involved in that. They're getting their cut. They're helping
Yeah.
orchestrate it, because if they
Right.
wasn't, it wouldn't happen this rapidly.
Yeah. Well, even just take the I mentioned the unemployment, right? You only get a
Right.
percentage of it. Whoever's getting it, whether it's real or cheating or whatever it is, they get a percentage of it. So that percentage that's left over, who gets it? The government or the investor. So they'll take 5 cents on the dollar out of that for millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Exactly. They're
Of course
getting
you will.
5 cents on the dollar, but they're doing that 80 million times.
There you go. So just do a nickel times 80 million. And if you're distributing it between 10 people or 20 people at the top level, that's a lot of money, man. And that's just one thing that they're involved in. That's why you see these politicians, they make $150,000 a year and they own 4 or 5 mansions, and they have, take all these trips in private jet. They can't afford that on their salary. Where's the money coming from? If you ask them, they'll say, oh, investments. Yeah, well, what type of investment?
Human livestock.
Yeah. Yep. The only difference is when slavery was legal, they didn't have to hide nothing. They could do whatever the hell they wanted. It was okay. Everybody accepted it. The whole world accepted it. It wasn't just one ethnicity, one race. Nothing. Everybody accepted slavery. So you didn't have to hide nothing. Now there's still slavery, but they got to figure out a way to hide it. And in some places, like in China, there's open slavery. The Uyghurs are enslaved there. Nobody can do nothing about it.
Everybody could
So,
benefit off of. We'll allow anything, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these wars, most of them that are started, it's over money. It's not over, who's right and who's wrong and all that stuff. It's a cash flow. You can't build millions and millions of weapons and not use them. They can't just sit there. You need ammunition. You need warheads. You need bombs. You need all that stuff. And you need the materials to make them. Otherwise, it's a one-time investment that you don't really see a return on. And they just sit there. So it could be oil. It could be land. It could be people. It could be whatever it is. It's just an excuse to get a return on their investment. So education helps, and being aware helps, and being independent helps. That's one good thing about the United States. You can be independent. In a lot of countries, you can't. You can't make your own money. You can't keep your own money. You can't open your own business. Somebody owns it, and you're just working for them. And a lot of times, it's governments that do it. A lot of them third world countries where there's poverty and all that, the country that itself is rich. Venezuela is rich in oil. They have so much oil and gas that gas, if you go to any gas pump to refill your car, it's free. They don't pay for gas down there. But they don't reap the benefits of that labor to produce that oil and gas. The government does. So everybody else is poor. And the people at the top level are rich. They don't share it. At least here, you can make your own money. And if you play the system with investments or land, real estate, you can do okay. You can do real good. Just pay your taxes. Yeah. That's what a buddy of mine told me, because this is a little off topic, but there was somebody had posted up a picture of me and this kid at a dog show. And I've told this story, so some people might remember it. And it said, "We're breeding dogs for fighting purposes." I didn't have dogs. We were at a dog show. I don't know where he got the picture from. I don't even remember the kid's name. But somebody called the local SPCA here and reported me. So they come over. I knew the lady. I've known her for years. She shopped at my store. Diane. She said, "Richard, we got this complaint." Yeah. "What is it, Diane?" She told me the whole thing. "Yeah." "Can I look in your yard?" "Yeah." "Go look." I said, "Look, there's nothing back there. I don't have no dog. You know I haven't had dog. You know what happened to me. You know my background. I don't have dog." So she went and looked. Okay. Nothing. So I have a friend who's in the FBI. His whole family been in the FBI since the 60s. So I had them check. They tried to run and find the IP address. They could not find it where it came from. This is the freaking FBI doing it. And he said, "Richard, they ain't looking at you. They don't care about you. They ain't worried about you. The only thing you need to do is pay your taxes every year. Don't get involved in that bullshit." I said, "Hey, it's not a problem. I pay them. I file every year and I pay them." He said, "You're good. Don't worry about it." That's another place where people get hung up. They don't declare their money. They don't pay taxes on it. Pay it, whatever it is. Keep the rest. Even if you got to pay out of your pocket, you owe some. Pay it. If you don't and they come down on you, you're done. You'll never pay it. And you might go to prison for it. And there's so many cases that people don't hear about. We hear about the high profile ones, but there's so many cases of that situation that people don't hear about, and they ain't going to talk about it because it's embarrassing, and nobody don't know about it, but it happens all the time. But don't hide money. I declare everything. Even if it's something I don't think should be declared, I declare it anyway. I don't care. I don't need the hassle. I'll make more money. And I ain't rich. I don't get it twisted. I ain't talking like I got a lot of money. I don't, but I have enough, and I always will. I'm set up that way. You know, it's me and my friend. We just had this conversation yesterday. Maybe that's why I got on, because, you know, it had to do with having yourself prepared: funeral, living will, money, taking care of your spouse if she dies first, or taking care of you if your spouse dies first. What's going to happen? Who's going to do it? You have to have enough money if it's just you by yourself. And then who you're going to trust. Which kid you're going to trust to take over, or which relative, or which friend, or whoever it is. But most of the time, they're going to screw you over. After you get Alzheimer's, or after you're too sick, you can't take care of yourself. So you either do it yourself, and you put it in a will, and you have it all set up where nobody has to take care of it. It's taken care of it by yourself legally, even after you get Alzheimer's or you're incapacitated or whatever. Or it's going to be somebody that you really trust that'll do it. But it's better if you do it yourself. So again, it sounds like a lot of gloom and doom. It's not. It's just preparation. It's there to give you peace of mind that you got shit handled and taken care of. People shouldn't worry about what happens to them after they die. It doesn't matter. It's gone. I tell mine jokingly, you know, I tell them, hey, it don't matter, dig a hole somewhere, throw me in it, throw me in the ocean. It don't matter. I'm dead. Who cares? Funerals and all that stuff are for the living. They're not for the dead. So in my case, and it's just my case, I don't give a shit what happens. I don't care what they do. But I have it set up for the process and all that. But if they don't follow the process, so what? Give a shit. It sounds kind of morbid, but you think about it. What matters is what you do now, here, while you're alive. Not what happens to you after you're gone, or how you're going to be looked at or treated or all that. It has no bearing on the way you think or feel, because you ain't here. So if they honor you, that's great, but that's for them. That's for them to remember you in a good way. And if they don't remember you in a good way, who gives a shit? So, you know, I'm grateful for Buck giving me a platform. I don't usually talk about this stuff, and I won't in a lot of different places. I don't do it on my group. I don't do it on my YouTube channel. I don't do it in other podcasts I'm on unless I'm specifically asked. I don't do it on our Patreon show, none of that. But there's platforms for it, and I think certain things need to be addressed. So it's good. Lionhead, you're right. Part of that process was killing Lincoln, because he had stuff in place for the slaves, right? We've all heard 40 acres and a mule. It didn't happen. Why? Because he was killed. So Andrew Johnson, his vice president, didn't uphold what Lincoln wanted because Johnson was originally a Democrat, and Lincoln had him come over and become a Republican because he needed the Southern vote. So after he was killed, he just put that stuff aside. Nope, ain't gonna do it. Then that's where you have the inception of the Jim Crow laws and segregation, all that stuff. Lincoln wasn't going to do that. And they knew it. So they killed him. That's why they killed Kennedy. Same thing. And when you have assassinations like that, presidents, you have to look at who's going to benefit from it. Well, again, you have Lyndon Johnson. He was a racist. He's from the South. Even though he's a Democrat, he still didn't agree with a lot of what Kennedy wanted. So Kennedy's dead. Then Johnson implemented the Welfare Act, civil right, whatever you want to call it, to keep fathers and men out of the household if you're going to get dependency from the government. All this stuff is planned, and they're always want to hit one step ahead of everybody else because they're the ones making the plan. So they have to figure out how they're going to go about to get what they want and look like they're appeasing the public. The government ain't going to take care of you. You got to do it yourself. All them programs they have. What happens with the government program if it goes south? Doesn't work. They just get another program. Nobody's held accountable. Nobody gets fired. Nothing changes. All they do is talk shit that people want to hear. They're a bunch of liars. They have their own agenda, and people fall for it. So, anybody there? I can't see the chat. Let me see if I can see the chat.